systems are offline.
Number one for today's hits. And all-time favorites.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Combat Deviants with a very exciting, packed show for everybody with a couple of guests. And we actually got our third host joining us with Carrie. Carrie, we just started the show. I mean, what?
I didn't know if it was 9 or 9:30. I'm like, Steve's like, I'm in the back. I'm like, I'm coming. I'll be there in a minute.
Oh, man, I'm so happy that all of us are here. So listen, guys, we have an exciting show packed up for everybody. Obviously, with two guests lined up on today's show, which we'll get to in just a second. Steve will be sharing what our guests are. But UFC 279 going down. It couldn't have happened any better. Carrie, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. BKFC going down. Invicta FC guests coming up as well. And Tweets of the Week, a new segment that we got this week for everybody. And man, if you guys want to engage last week's episode, oh my God. I mean, we got pickup lines from last week. I was going out there to Starbucks trying them. You know, I was doing the Forrest Gump approach, which Carrie, we're going to ask you about in a second. And I got some surprises for this intro. But before we start anything, guys, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Combat Deviants. Also subscribe down below. The show is powered by bellyupsports.com, where you can find all the latest sports news. And I got a little announcement, guys. Your gonzo journalist, Evil Eddie over here, is going to be going hard in the paint. Carrie, what were you just showing for the people who can't see on the audio show?
Oh, I didn't mean it. I have a lighter in my hand.
What do you mean? The roof is on fire then. I mean, so Carrie, listen, let me ask you something to start the show off, to see if last week's show would work. If a guy came up to you, not a good looking guy like me, but a guy came up to you and said, or all right, say for instance, I came up to you. All right. A little, okay. I'm a what, a 5 out of 10, you would say?
No, you're way better than that.
Oh, you're being too nice. So if I came up to you, you had no idea who I was, which actually happened at one point. And we'll get to that in a second. And I said, hey, my name's Evil Eddie. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Is that a good way to approach a girl or no? What's the best way to approach a woman?
Okay, so would you say it in that way? Because that's
he's saying it that way because that's how Blaine said it.
It's the Forrest Gump approach.
Not in that way, but you know what's really funny? And I'm like really glad that somebody has brought this up besides myself. People don't know how to talk to people anymore or approach people anymore. And I think that like the whole lockdown and everything and people not being in contact with people for so long, people got really like freaked out. Like I've had guys like look like stare at me and like you can say hi. Like I'm like,
they just stare at you, yo.
All the time. I'd rather somebody just come up and say hi. Just come up and like tell me to go fuck myself. Just don't stare at me.
Oh man. So Carrie, actually, you met me in person,
Yes,
but you were the engager, which you know a lot of guys are not used to, which made things a lot easier. And I think you literally came up to me and said, "Hello, my name's Carrie. What's yours?" And it worked. It actually, you heard that, Steve?
Do that. I really do. I rather because like I could gauge when I want to talk to somebody or when somebody wants to, you know, talk to you. You listen, everybody knows like body language, general chemistry in that if you get like an eye contact with somebody.
Especially Blake Builder.
Fuck you. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I usually just cut the corner and I'm like, hey, what's up? My name is Carrie Stellar. How are you?
So listen, Carrie, what if it was this? And Steve, I want you to look at the screen really quick. What if you had no idea what was happening? And I said, hello, my name's Eviletti, and we're about to fight in a phone booth, which was a huge thing this week on social media. I'm throwing this out here as the shock of the week.
Fight in a phone booth.
Did you guys see this? Have you guys seen this?
I did see it.
So this has been a huge thing going on social media. This is a real thing.
Overseas combat sports. They always deliver. Always.
That's great.
Not the podcast phone booth fighting, but actual phone booth fighting. They want a smaller octagon for more action. Well, you got a phone booth. This is just ridiculous. I mean, I've heard of slap boxing before, but this is crazy. I mean, where are we going with this one? But Steve, we got an exciting show lined up for everybody. We want to know what you guys think. You can comment and it will appear on the show. You can become a weekly member of Combat Deviants. But Steve, who do we have joining us on this episode?
Obviously, you know, we're gonna do some 279 post-mortem. You know, we got BKFC Heavyweight Bobo O'Bannon's gonna be joining us, and he's gonna be taking on, welcoming to BKFC the UFC veteran there, Mr. Big Ben Rothwell is gonna be making his first foray in BKFC. Bobo's gonna
go choke.
Gonna meet him. That's gonna be an interesting fight October 1st. I'm really looking forward to that main event too. You got Hero and Hunt too. That's gonna be a fun one. But you know, Bobo's definitely gonna be looking to make a statement.
Where has Ben Rothwell been? Because you know he was going in. I remember some of my favorite years, Steve, were the go-go choke years. You guys remember the go-go choke years? He was going in there. He was beating everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Walking out to Phantom of the Opera, one of my absolute favorites. What's some of your favorite memories of Ben Rothwell? Because the people out there that aren't familiar with Big Ben,
some of his post-fight celebrations are just like everyone loves Chris Bennett from this past weekend. You know how he always does the he's dancing around doing backflips in there and everything like that. But like, you know, but Ben also had some quirky and odd post-fight celebrations in there as well.
And we're also going to be joined.
But let me not forget, we're also going to be joined by somebody me and Eddie talked to a lot over the years. Carrie's definitely familiar with. Helen Peralta is going to be joining us. She's BKFC veteran. She's the last woman to beat the queen of the BKFC right now, Miss Christine Friera. Everyone forgets about that, but she's going to be taking on Botelho at Invicta FC 49. That's going to be a fun one. Obviously, Jillian DeCourcy is going to be getting her first foray into that title right there. If she can dethrone the champion that Invicta has there at 105, I believe, is the belt that's online for the main event.
It is.
Carrie knows.
And
I'm excited about that.
I know Carrie's excited about that one. That's going to be a fun one.
I know who Jillian's been training with, and I know a lot of the girls that she's been training with, and I know a lot of the girls that have been down at Sarah's in Law, and you got a lot of 1FC girls over there and shit. So she's got some really heavy training partners, Caitlin Chukagi and everybody's on. It's great.
Ooh.
She should do really well.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie, listen, we didn't get to hear what you thought of last week's event for UFC 279.
Yeah, because it was obviously all madness. Obviously, we the live reaction we got from
Blake. Oh
yeah,
man,
he was absolutely out of his mind. He was just mouth agape. He didn't know what to do. He was like, wait, what? That's a real thing? That is really happening? That this just happened?
because it happened so fast. I think the last time that happened was when Habib was supposed to fight a bunch of fighters. I was there. He ended up fighting Ally Quinta.
That was the Ally Quinta fight. Yes.
Right? In New York at the Barclays Center.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's when the dolly was thrown.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
that was like the most maddening card ever. Yeah.
Does this top that, Carrie, or no?
Oh, I don't. Just
no. Dana said it was like the worst thing that happened in 22 years of him. I'm absolutely not. Especially when you go and everyone's seen the embedded stuff. Are you freaking kidding me?
So I didn't get a chance to see
two scuffles and bottles being thrown. Are you freaking kidding me? This is ridiculous. Worst thing that happened in 22 years. When the Conor McGregor thing happened, stop playing with me, Dana. Stop. Really?
That was epic. Now there was a lot of rumors, Carrie, that this was maybe not rumors, but the MMA gods blessed us. This was a better card. Do you agree?
Oh, 420%.
I believe I did say the MMA gods were looking down on us. What do you think?
As soon as I heard that Kamzat had missed weight, the second I heard it, I messaged Manimal and I was like, yo, Kamzat missed weight. He's like, imagine they throw Tony. And I'm like, that's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense from the MMA guys, that they would throw that together. And I honestly thought they were going to boot Kamzat from the card. If it was anybody else, they wouldn't have been fighting on that card. So it's coming that much overweight, they wouldn't have, which is a little, it's a little shitty, that the rules don't apply to everyone. However, we got the card that we really wanted, and everybody didn't even know that they really wanted. Like the biggest surprise of like the last couple months. That fight was amazing. It was one of the best main events I've seen in fucking forever. I called one fight wrong on the whole card, so I impressed myself.
That's actually really impressive. And while you say that, Carrie, I'm glad that you actually gave that to us, because over here at Combat Deviants and BellyUpSports.com, we're going to be giving you guys our predictions for each fight card coming up. Now, Steve, that's not just the UFC. I mean, we have BKFC Invicta. This is a really heavy schedule. How are we going to work this out? What predictions are we going to be making?
Obviously, the handful of us here are going to have some a little bit more verbiage, so we can so Eddie can get the graphics going up. So when we're talking about it, we can just see our picks up there. We don't, we don't have to run down every single fight and break down every single one of them, but obviously everyone can kind of see it. For our betting degenerates out there, they can make some bets. You just heard Carrie was almost perfect last week, and obviously this coming fight night should be interesting. Got a couple local guys on the card. Obviously, none of the local promotion media companies can cover it. You got Joey Body Bags Pfeiffer's on the card. You got my main Pac Sabs on the card. He's going to be doing his thing, man.
Pat what?
I love this card, man.
Pat Passat.
I'll continue to give the bigger conglomerate media companies crap until they give the local fighters the love they absolutely deserve.
I don't want to jump ahead, but we are going to be previewing Corey Sanhagan versus Song. I mean, this card is absolutely a sleeper card, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it.
I was just looked it up and said that. I'm like, how is nobody talking about this fucking?
But I don't want to jump ahead yet. So I want to know what you guys have to say in the comments. You guys can engage right now on Combat Deviants here and be part of the show. And once we get to that segment, you guys can be part of all the engagement, all the excitement, along with all the interviews, which we had an amazing time last week. Now, I mean, for UFC 279, if we have to rate it, I mean, everyone wants to know a rating, guys. With Steve, out of 10 for a pay-per-view, if you have to pay $90, Carrie, if you have to pay $90, what do you? I mean, that's a lot of money to ask for. $15 per fight. So like that. Carrie, let's start with you. Out of 10, what do you give it? And guys, let us know in the comments.
I mean, I loved it. I'd say a personal opinion, 8
You
out of
had to buy it, right? Like, come on.
8
You have
out of
to see it.
10. Would I have bought it? Yeah, but I actually went out and watched it.
Oh, did you? Okay, Steve, stop, Steve. Steve, stop. Big no, right? For guys, especially.
What?
Dude, I freak out when I go out with everybody. Everyone's freaking out, telling me this about this fighter. And I go schizophrenic.
I
Buffalo
literally
Wild
matter
Wings.
anymore.
for everybody that's with me. My sister laughed. She's like, you might as well just consider Kerry a fixture or just like not even with us. Cause I'm just like, I don't care. I'm like, because the second I get distracted, I'm like, what? I didn't see you distracted. I'm like, fuck you. Like, stop. You guys are fans. Stop it. So yeah, I try not to, but when I do, I just blinders.
I mean, Carrie, you actually go to a lot of events.
I do.
Me and you have covered a lot of events. Steve goes to a lot of events, but like you said, and me and Steve have spoke about this so many times, it's so hard if you need to cover it and you have to pay attention or else everyone's on your back about everything. And you may have not noticed that the fight ended at 209. Did you guys notice that?
That was insane, and I didn't notice that until after. And I was like, how fucking cool is that?
Steve,
and I was just working on my guillotine the day before. I was so excited. I was like, we just did that.
Look at you. All excited about all of
the day
this.
before, killing them.
So I brought this up on last week's show, and everyone was really upset, Steve and Carrie. We didn't bring up our first memories and our favorite memories of Nate Diaz. What are they, guys? What are your first?
I already said it. Well, I mean, to that it was the first time he gave the double bird flex flip off of the Kurt Pellegrino in New Jersey. That was I already said that was one of my favorite ones.
Triangle. Was that with the triangle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely mine.
And he ended his career like it, basically doing the flex, right?
Come on, I love him.
But that season of Ultimate Fighter, if you guys don't remember, before that, Steve, you know the knowledge here. Mayhem versus Nick in the cage. That was before Tough 5, right? And Nick was there for all of that. That was after. That was after all of that, huh?
Yeah, that was like after season 10. That was after that.
So if people don't know what I'm talking about here, Ultimate Fighter season 5, BJ Penn versus Lil Evil, who gets slept on a lot, not in the Hall of Fame, which kind of going into next week's episode, Steve. We kind of previewing a guest here. I don't want to give too much away, but that's going to be a huge discussion. And we want to know what you guys think it qualifies for being in the Hall of Fame. BJ Penn in the Hall of Fame, obviously, on that season, and everyone wanted to be on his team. But Nate Diaz didn't care that season. He was spray painting 209. He stood out. And if there's anyone on that season, Gray Maynard, Robert Emerson, there was a bunch of great guys on that season. But Nate has had a long and amazing career. That was years ago. What now, though? What do you guys think he does now?
Well, literally, like I said, go into our poll question. No one won more last weekend than Nate did. He was going into this weekend. They were going to ride him out and make him get his. They were going to have him mauled. They had this guy ready to tear him apart. Yep. They were going to have him going out where he was going to have nothing to really, not to get these big offers and things of that nature. And then the MMA gods came down and struck and just said, you know what, Cosmouth's not going to make weight. And just threw everything in Nate's corner. Not just, he gets the matchup that he wanted. Then the fight comes through and it couldn't go better.
Oh, man, right?
You can kind of tell that he didn't put the cardio for this fight. It's kind of obvious, him taking breaks in the middle of the fight, Tony walking backwards towards him and stuff like that. It was great stuff, but it's one of these things where he wins it. He wins in a way where he can do pretty much anything. He can go box if he wants to go and do bare knuckle boxing. Dave Feldman already gone out there and said Nate Diaz and and Mike Perry would be amazing bare knuckle boxing match. Well,
And he wouldn't be tied down there either.
His own promotion, where like you don't know how that plays out. Like and the fact that he's going to be starting to promote you also. He has so many more options, and you still never know if he does go back in the UFC. He's like, you know what, we're gonna pay you this, that, and the third for
the trilogy.
What fight? That you need to come back and fight Conor and like have the big that's the fight left to have for him. That is the only reason. The only reason he comes back to the UFC. But here's the other thing: is that you have to wonder when Conor is getting to the end of his, and he's getting ready to walk away too.
Oh,
so
man,
I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing. I think Nate is. I think in Nate's heart, he's 100% done with the UFC. He's done with the extra stuff. A lot of people didn't see like the pre-fight video he did with Megan O'Leary. He's sitting there freaking trashing the shoes.
Steve, all this talk is making me feel old. Is there a new wrinkle coming in? I mean, come on. This isn't
about wrinkles.
Like I'm saying with all this talk, I'm sad. It makes me realize how old we're getting now, and we've grown up with a whole group of people. It's sad to say bye to the Diaz brothers. Like Dana White said, it's been a trip. It's been a blast, man. But to think that they would give up the money for a trilogy fight versus Conor, I mean, but does Conor even want? I mean, dude, I'm having an anxiety. I gotta call my doctor. Hold on. Oh, come on. Does it really happen in the next 3 years? Yes or no, guys?
I'm gonna give my prediction. If it happens, 3 ways: super fight, like a 1 or 2 fight contract, whatever they did with Cyborg, or just a 1 fight contract of a super fight. 2, boxing.
But then, like Nate said, that would be the first fight because it's boxing. Nate was insisting that he wants to come back. I don't see it happening in the UFC for some reason.
I don't see it happening in MMA. I see maybe bare knuckle. I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't know if they'd be able to. If Conor would do that, so I see regular boxing before anything, if anything.
I think me and Steve's son are gonna cry our ways home on this one. We're not gonna see this fight, I don't think, guys. I think we have to accept that we are not gonna see Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 3, and we're gonna have to accept that. That's something that's hard.
That fight really did need to happen. I wanted to see that fight happen so bad.
Now, question here: this could settle it all. Maybe there doesn't need to be a third fight, guys. Did you think that Nate won the second fight or no? That was a big debate.
You don't gotta tell me with that. I'm 209 till I die. I already told you about that.
Till I die.
He could, in a real, if you think about it statistically or in the fight world, a decision couldn't have gone the other way. There would be no room for a trilogy. So, I mean, not that I'm saying that the fight was fixed. However, I am saying I do think Diaz won that fight. But I think there would be absolutely no argument had it gone the other way. Like, where's the argument?
Yeah, I mean, it was closer than it probably should be. But yeah, when you let it go like that, in boxing and MMA, whatever, it goes to the judges. You let them break your heart. That's on you, man.
Yeah,
you got to end the fight and put it away and leave no doubt.
So you guys are the best, man. This is perfect segue into you guys were talking about the biggest winners. Let's talk about the biggest losers. What about Lee, man? He had the nicest suit, wasn't able to go up for the press conference, got carried away, and then in that fight, I mean, I have my scorecard over here, and I believe
a lot of people feel like he got
at least 2
in the stick.
At least 2-1. That was insane, dude. That was sad. That was a very sad story. Like you said, you can't leave it to the judges, but this was a very sad one, man.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, this moment of silence goes to Lee.
I mean, Holland had to take Schumann off on the short notice. The fake glove tap and the quick submission.
I actually brought that up. I don't know if I sent it to myself in time. I didn't, but there is, and I just tweeted it out on the Combat Deviants, and I'll share it if I didn't. Kevin Holland was just saying that this is Herb Dean's fault, that he's got bloodshot eyes, and Casey actually did an illegal move during that fight. Here it is right here. Kevin Holland, Herb Dean's fault. On to the next. How about that? And I don't know if you guys can see on my screen here, but
it's showing like him grabbing the top part of
the gloves. Yes, exactly. And it's you know, everyone's talking about the glove. You guys aren't gonna be able to see the glove tap, the fake glove tap, which was a huge thing going into this. But if you put it any other way, I think that fight would have gone just the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting there taking anything from Shumenov whatsoever, but like it's, you know, also one of those things where he did kind of address it afterwards. It was like anything that happened when the bell rang is what happened. He was like, we touched gloves, you know, when they called us to the center. So,
right, protect yourself at all times is what they say.
I mean, it sucks, you know, that's part of the game, but you know, he's 110% playing up the villain role at this point in time. I don't care what anybody's saying. He's 100% playing the heel right now, and he doesn't care.
I gotta say,
Paulo Costa's 100% playing the baby face.
I saw videos this week that Dana White does want him to move up in a weight class. Do you guys like that?
I think he should.
Yeah.
Steve, why should?
Where you're having doctors coming in and telling you you have to stop and stop the weight cut, and you know you're having medical issues and things of that nature. Well, if it's a medical issue, then you need to stay at 185 pounds until doctor says it's okay for you to go down and and cut weight and get down to 170 pounds. You see other guys, who for most of their careers when they fight at at that weight, when they get out in the world, they're probably walking closer to 195, 200 pounds when they're walking around their natural weight. So, I always say it's better for guys to fight up than continue to deplete and hurt and kill yourself to get down to these weights. Stop, stop wasting everyone's time, your own time, other contenders, other fighters' times by just trying to push that envelope, like trying to be, the tough guy. Oh, I can make this. Listen, guys, you know what your body is capable of. You know what the limits are. So,
I mean, for this, Carrie, the females especially, we're seeing today right now. I believe it was Aspen Ladd was having some issues with her weight, and they've been doing studies that girls hold on to more weight naturally because you guys are meant to carry children, which is very dangerous for women and for men as well. I mean, have you guys seen the Cyborg videos of cutting weight?
Oh, without a question. I mean, look, I can tell you from having been bajillion weight. I've been 105 pounds, 3 years ago, coming off all my shoulder injuries. And I mean, I was walking around at 105. I looked sickly skinny and it was terrible. And that's when I met Animal, and he was like, we got to get you in better shape. Back in the day when I got sober, I came out of rehab at 135. I'm now 118 and I lost... I went from 22% body fat since I've been working out for the last 2 years with John to now I'm at 13.9 at 118. And how are you feeling? I'm like, well, I feel great, but it affects you as a woman, whether you want to believe it or not. It absolutely does. My schedule, everything's off now, dramatically because of that. So your body fat content does have a lot to do with that, especially.
There's now stuff right there.
Here's somebody that actually doesn't have to really worry about cutting too much weight or sitting in a sauna for too long.
He's like, I'm enjoying my food right now.
He's sitting here eating nachos right now, and I gotta love it, man. We got our next guest joining us right here. BKFC Heavyweight Bobo O'Bannon, man. What's going on, my dude?
Oh man, just loving life. How about y'all?
Oh,
Let,
couldn't be-
let me walk outside where the lighting's a little bit better here. I'm sorry.
Bro, you
I'm
came up the whole video yourself, bro. I can't see anything around you anyway, man.
well, come on, my big old behind. Oh, 6'3", 1,487 pounds of me, huh? Good
Damn,
nut.
man. I mean, Bobo, thank you for joining us on this episode of Combat Deviants. We got an amazing lineup of questions for you here because we are big fans of you over here. I don't know if you know that, but
Come on,
man,
that's
I'm
awesome.
a big fan, man. I was raised with the Lord. I was named after. Let me say this. I was named after my grandfather, who was a deacon at my church. I was raised to follow, and I one day would really like to be a deacon because, there's nothing better than preaching and making people feel better. When I'm having an anxiety attack, man, and I call somebody in my family and they say something that leaves me off where I don't feel right, it doesn't make sense. If somebody calls me, I have something to say to them that will leave them lifted, man. But with my own struggles, I may be able to preach, but I cannot follow sometimes. And I got to ask you, man, sometimes it's easy to preach, but how do you follow?
Man, there's a little 1, 2, 3 method. I gotta count to 3 and hold my breath. Now, literally, I know that sounds stupid. That sounds stupid. Trust me, it sounds stupid whenever I say it, and I'm the one that does it. But I gotta hold my breath and count to 3 while I hold my breath for just a second. What that does is that keeps me from saying anything at all, because I'm not real smart, and sometimes I'm gonna tell you exactly the thought that's going through my brain. It may not really be how I feel. It might just be how I'm caught up in that moment at that time, and I'm fixing to blow your hair back. But so I hold my breath and then my little count to 3 real quick and kind of compose myself, get myself together. I'm like, all right, now let me react to this situation in a good way rather than just blowing somebody's hair back and telling Joker, hey, let's go roll in the rocks, bud. And I'm not saying it's easy, man, and I'm not saying I'm able to do that every time. Come on, I'm human. I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna screw
But
up
you
all the
are you
time.
are a fighter, though. You are a fighter, and that's an inspirational place that you've chose to stand at. I want you to
Come
know that.
on, come
And
on,
I got a question here. You know,
come on.
it's a difficult place to stand at, right? As a fighter, because you have your family watching you as you are sitting in front of a storm coming at you right now in the form of UFC's Ben Rothwell. And for your family, it may be really scary. To you, it may be really scary. How do you calm them? How do you calm yourself? How do you ensure uh full full embodiment, full warmth, full make sure that everyone knows everything will be okay, especially if you have children or something. How do you go about that? Because it could be difficult for them.
Well, baby girl is 4 years old. She'll be 5 in September, and we just let her know that hey, Daddy's going to wrestle with his friends. We're just sparring, we're boxing, we're just playing with one another. Um, so that's how we get by with baby girl. My boy, my stepson, he loves it to death. He loves the fighting to death, and he gets to see all these pretty little pictures and gets to see the up close of it or whatever. Baby girl does too. I mean, just let baby girl know, hey, Daddy's just playing with his friends. You're gonna get bumps and bruises and cuts and scrapes and scratches when you play with your friends sometimes, and ain't no big deal. You're just gonna put some medicine on your little bobos and keep on going. And that's how we deal with it there. Um,
I like
my
that.
wife, my wife's a little more on a real level.
Oh,
She's the firecracker.
It gets a little more real there, especially, my wife has 20 something different, 26, 27 different diseases that they know about. Um, a lot of these are intestinal diseases, it's stuff that messes her with her esophagus and her intestines, heart diseases. She's got a major heart disease. They did an experimental surgery for, back when she had to fight to keep her alive till she turned 18. Hold on, that's probably just to mess me up. She's pulling in with the car, and the Bluetooth probably gonna jump.
You running, bro. You running.
I
You
am.
quick to run. You heard that thing from
I
a
am.
mile away, Bobo.
No,
Bobo,
no,
that
no.
thing's-
Look, the Bluetooth the jump. What'll happen is, and it happens all the time. You know,
See, that's what he's talking about.
Oh, that's the jump. But we're used to that once he gets inside. Well, the trick to that, guys, in case you don't know, is shutting the Wi-Fi off and going off your service. Little evil Eddie hint right there.
Yep. See there? I told you that car was gonna mess me all up.
You went wrong.
But
Quick.
can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud. Here she is.
Oh, goodness.
What she got? She got your food.
Hold on. Are we good now?
Bobo, I love how you heard that from a mile away.
See,
that reminds me of
this happens a lot. Yeah, they're crazy woman. This happens a lot whenever I'm training. I'll be out here. No, they got their food. They ain't no my food involved. Gosh darn.
Bobo, getting back to that question, you were saying your wife deals with this.
Whatever it was, he likes it. You can hear it.
I could see the frustration when the wife pulls up now. You know, you're going to have this fight on October 1st. The days are ticking down. What is the stress level like in the house? If you can hear me right now, Bobo. Steve Carey, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, Bobo has been kidnapped. We don't know. Stand by. But Carrie, can you understand this? Could you imagine dating a fighter? I mean, Carrie, if I was dating you, I'd be freaking out. Carrie, be careful. Steve, I know you go through it all the time. You don't even got to be doing anything, bro. You know, you don't even got to fight. I stay away from all of it. I have learned. But at some point, for a fighter, man, that's got to be really difficult. And for Bobo, you know, he really follows with the Lord. And oh, here he goes. He's coming back here. Bobo.
And I love that. I love that he's got that in his name and stuff. That's right up my alley. Because nobody talks about God. Nobody talks about whatever it's religion, spirituality. No, shit for it all the time. And I'm like, fuck y'all. I roll with you.
It's a crazy thing because here's Bobo. Bobo, we were back. You're in a white room. Are you safe, Bobo? Are you okay? Are you safe?
He's good.
I'm blinking twice. Send help. Send help. The big one is home. Good, and I'm in trouble. Look, I told y'all I went running from that vehicle. Every time me and Coach is outside training, we train up underneath the carport right there. I'll take you out there in a minute and show you the little setup, my little gym. But we train via FaceTime, and I've got my little headset on every time. They'll go to get in the car to leave. I'm like, my God, why can't y'all just give me 20 minutes? All I need is 20 minutes to finish my session. No, they go and they get in the car, and guess what? It connects straight to the car. Then it goes from me listening to coach's instructions to them listening in the car as they're driving down the road, coach instructing me. But, you know, one of them things of life that we deal with, I reckon. You know, not that big of a deal, but anyhow, that's why I took off running, and you seen what it did to me.
You know what's funny though, Bobo? As you say that, everyone listening and all of us know exactly what you're talking about right now. So yeah, we're right there with you. What is the tension like in the house? Because you seem pretty laid back. Steve, are you Carrie? Are you sensing? He seems pretty laid back right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bobo's a chill man. I love him.
Man, look, man, this is
until it gets time to get in there, then he becomes.
Yeah, I turn into that guy right there. That's the silly fella there. But no, look, man, life is way too short. Even my coworkers, we all do the same thing. We all have this conversation at one point or another. Life is way, way too short to be uptight, to be upset, to be in a mood that puts everybody around you in a tension filling environment. I mean, nobody got time for it, especially a person my size, man. You bring me in the room, you have everybody in the room laughing. You bring me in the room in a bad mood, all of a sudden the entire environment of the room changes
It
just
goes one
because.
of two ways. Yeah. It goes one
Yeah,
of two ways.
yeah, just because this big guy's in a bad mood now, all of a sudden, just the vibes he's putting off changes the mood of the entire room. There's 20 people in there. He just changed it because one big old sapsucker's in a bad mood. Man, I don't want to be like that. I want everybody around me to have fun. I have fun, but look, if you go out and you have a good time, and just you having a good time, that's one thing. But if you can go out and have a good time, and everybody around you is enjoying themselves too, oh, that's different. That's a different level of a good time there. Look, I'll put myself out a little bit to make sure that everybody around me is having a good time, and that's when things is real fun, man.
I got a
When you
personal question though.
come on,
Are you ready for it?
come
I'm
on.
totally ready.
Me and Carrie and Steve were just talking about pickup lines. Last week we had Blake Builder who just got his UFC contract. What was your first pickup line with your wife? How did you approach her? Because before you answer, Blake told us the best way to go about it is the Forrest Gump approach, which is to approach a woman and say, "Hi, my name's Forrest. What's yours?" Or insert your name here. How did you and your wife meet? How did you go about it?
Y'all ain't gonna believe me, man. Dude, we y'all won't believe this. Okay, I'm gonna give you mine and my wife's whole dating story all the way up to marriage. Trust me, we got plenty of time for this one. Um, I created a profile on a site called Plenty of Fish,
I
Oh,
have
and
you on that website. Wow.
Carrie,
come
oh my god.
That actually like has a good relationship from that website. Go on. Sorry.
no, you're fine. Plenty of Fish. I created a website. Look, I'm gonna let y'all know something. They are a bunch of scallywags, male and female, on
Yes.
Plenty of Fish because I was approached several different times on Plenty of Fish. Hey, me and my family's going to Orange Beach. I see you're in Bala Battery. It ain't 45 minutes away. Won't you come? If you got vacation, take vacation from work. I'll put you up in a different condo. I'll give you $150 a day to go and do what you want to do. Then at nighttime, after the family goes to sleep, I'll come stay with you. I'm like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does.
But I'm not that guy. I'm sorry. Sometimes I wish I could have been. Maybe I don't know. I'm seeing what it was like. I was never that guy. I just couldn't. I'm sorry. Say what you want to about me. I just couldn't do that. That wasn't my cup of tea, bud, and I wasn't taking a sip of yours either. So I just couldn't do it. Well, after I don't know a dozen different requests like this. Like women, dude, I'm serious. I had so many women hit me up like, hey, look, I'm going out with some friends for a high school reunion this
Whoa,
weekend.
bo, bo,
Uh,
bo, 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 bo,
come
bo,
on,
bo.
come on.
Do you off the rip tell them you're a fighter? Do you use a fighter profile
No,
pic of like, oh baby, I
no,
like it rough, or
no,
what?
no.
What do you do? Clean
Look,
cut?
man. So what do you do for a living?
Me, I'm a gonzo journalist. I live through you guys. I look for inspiration. I look for the stories that bring people up. Without it, I'm literally bedridden. I feed off inspiration from inspirational stories. My mom had me on mushrooms, so that has to be something to do with it. But besides, I'm just an artist, and all around
Time
looking
out.
for positive
Time
vibes.
out. Time out. Stop. You are screwing my whole story up. My whole point. I can't make it now. You just screwed my life up. Thank you.
My mom had
But because now I know your answer to the question goes against what I'm trying to get at.
Oh no!
but for a living, I'm a millwright. I'm a millwright for a living, a maintenance mechanic in a paper mill. I don't go to a woman right whenever I meet her, whenever I was in the dating scene, and try to be like, oh, I'm a millwright. You want to go out with me? I can fix stuff. No, nobody care about that.
idea though.
I mean,
Hey,
Carrie,
Yeah.
what would you think? Carrie, what would you think?
What?
You into that? if he approached you and said that, what's your response?
Listen, a guy that can fucking do something for
Yeah.
himself and actually can work and make something with his hands and do stuff. Yeah, the fuck I'm into that. Do you want to know what I hear from half the time? Oh my God, these guys don't fucking.
My mom tells me I'm not a real man if I can't do
Fix a
things around the
tire.
house. I mean,
Well, but look, my whole point is I'm not going to come up to a woman and try to start, try to organically build something off of, hey, I'm a millwright, I'm a mechanic, I'm a welder. You're not going to go with any crap like that. So it's the same thing with fighting. It's just a way to make money is really all it is. So I'm not going to come up and be like, hey, I'm a fighter. You can catch me on TV. No, nobody care about that, man. That's kind of gay a little bit if you ask me.
I see what you're saying.
So no, I wouldn't do any of that. But man, folks would get on there and these women just crazy, man. Oh my God, I was lean and mean and sex machine, I guess they thought. So I'd get all these different kind of offers.
Bobo,
come on.
When you become the champ, you can't hide it. Don't tell me when you become the heavyweight champ, you're going to be able to hide this from anybody. You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
if you were a bachelor. Come on.
Which is awesome that I'm very, which is awesome that I'm very happily married now, very happy, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And you don't have to worry about any of the scallywag stuff. I'm like all them games and whatever. Well, anyhow, so I seen all that, and I get on there one night, and I'm like, you know what? I'm fixing to delete this thing, man. It seems like all anybody wants to do is get together and rub belly buttons, and I, just kind of not, it's kind of not my thing. I gotta have something in common with you. We gotta have, a relationship, something to build off of. I don't want to just get together and just rub belly buttons together like that, no. So get on there and go to delete. I'm gonna give it one last look. So I'm, doing all the swiping left. I think it is to get rid of them or whatever. And I'm swiping and get rid of them. And I go to swipe this one. I pull it back. I'm like, hold on, let me look at it. There's something going on here. I felt something. So I go to her profile. Look, I'm on Plenty of Fish. These jokers, all they want to do is rub belly buttons together. And this woman is going to talk about how God comes first in her life. Wow. The very next line says, no man will ever come before her son. Morals on here? Get down.
Points.
Yeah. She went straight to the top, bud. No, straight to the top. And then she was like, if you got a problem with that, you need to swipe left or whichever way. But otherwise, send me a message. We can talk. Inbox, hello, here I come. So I sent her a message. I'm like, hey, look, first of all, I'm not going to lie to you. Your physical appearance is what brought me to your profile. It's the first thing I've seen, Then once I read your about me, you just got beautiful. You came beautiful. All of a sudden, it's just amazing. You're gorgeous. I love what you stand for, and, hopefully I hear back from you. That's about just what I said.
That's a good pickup line, though. That was that was honest.
That's what I was doing. So I did that, and I set my phone on my chest right here, and I go back to watching TV. Look, about 5 minutes later, my phone vibrates. I'm like, who in the world is trying to message me this time of the night? I look down, and a Plenty of Fish notification. Oh, God, I dropped my phone trying to unlock it real quick. It was her.
The vibration, was your phone on your belly button? Was it rubbing your belly button?
It was sitting right here on my chest, right between my chesticles.
It was
rubbing belly buttons. I love that. That's actually an amazing story right there. That really is a lot.
So I'm gonna break it down for you real quick. Give you a real quick version of everything. I've sent her a message, PM part of January the 19th. December the 19th. We chatted on into December the 20th. Found out we had a mutual friend who brought her to Mobile. We met in person December the 22nd. I went and met her family on Christmas Day. There was another whole little backstory there, but it ended up I went and met her family on Christmas Day, December 25th. I went back the next weekend, asked her daddy could I marry her. Then January the 15th on her parents' anniversary, we ended up getting married.
Wow. So it was that perfect.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And look, I promised you, I wish I'd have found that fat joker about 10 years before I did. I really do.
Gary,
I mean,
Let me
you
tell
bring
you should make a commercial for that website because you're like the only success story I've ever heard come off of that. And you're absolutely right. The quality of people on there is really fucked up.
yeah.
Man, the quality is like I haven't been on there in years, but like congratulations, that's huge.
Thank you, Mel. Yeah, it's like I promised you. There was this one girl, and I ain't gonna call her name. That ain't that kind of important. But there was this one girl. She, my about me was talking about church, and God comes first, and give my little about me, my little spill or whatever, how I am and who I am and all. Well, this joker sends me a message. She's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm a Baptist girl and in the church and everything." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Baptists, they can't do anything. Everything's a sin to a Baptist. So, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's go on a date." So we went on a date, and next thing I know is she was like, "Okay, look, we're holding up this waitress's table. I think it's kind of unfair." I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave her a big tip, so it'd be okay." So yeah, but let's go down the road. I got this place that I know that I hang out at, a little bit here and there. Let's go down the road and we can hang out and talk here some. Cool, no problem. She knows somewhere where we can hang out. Yeah, cool.
This is a scary story. It might end up being a scary story.
Well, that's what I was thinking too on the
Yeah.
way down there. Dark roads and all. Look, bud, we pull up to this place on this little strip mall, and it's dark on the inside with a few little neon lights. I'm like, no, not one of these. No. Yeah. I'm going in there.
Yeah,
Look,
you said yeah.
look, not only did we go into the bar there,
You
but
said I already left my big tip.
look, yeah. Look, as we're walking in, people is calling her by name.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
You should
that,
I'll see you later, Suhan.
yeah, that kind of Baptist. Oh,
I already left my singles at the restaurant.
yeah, I don't want to come back here no more. So anyhow, we hung out, stayed, and we hung out a little bit or whatever. And I drink a beer too here and there, and I think I did have like half a beer, and I wasn't feeling it, bud. I'm sorry. I wasn't feeling it at all, and I was kind of, yeah. She said, "Well, it was nice hanging out with you. Call me tomorrow."
Yeah,
Like,
Sit by your phone and hold your breath, babe.
As you get home and start crying in the shower. Yeah.
Dude, I was like 55 minutes from home by the time we went to her little spot. Man, I'm like, got tears coming out my eyes all the way home. I finally went on a date with one of these Plenty of Fish girls, one that seemed okay, and she just wasn't, and I screw that site. I'm finna go home and delete it. And so the next weekend, yeah, I went to go delete it and found my wife who was, look, so, funny story, all of about 7, we got married, 15 days after we met, something like that, something stupid like that. All of about 7 or 8 days after we met, she's like, "So what are we?" I was like, "Well, I'm a human. I think you're a human. That's kind of, yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting. I don't think you're an alien, but these days, who's to say?"
A belly button.
Yeah, you do got a belly button. I saw your belly button. You want to rub on mine? The answer is no. Yeah.
Tell us that that aliens don't have belly buttons.
So that's how you know.
Good point.
I just want to know something we don't.
Valid.
That's an amazing story. That really is.
This is going. Listen, I'm gonna rein us back in real fast.
Come on.
So, Bo, this fight, this is the fight that as soon as they announced Big Ben Rothwell was coming to your promotion, this is a fight that you gone on social media. You went told your aunt, your uncle, your aunt that this is the fight you wanted. What makes this fight the fight you wanted? Is it the name? Is it something about his style that you like and you just want to get in there and mix it up with this guy? What was it about this fight that intrigued you?
Man, he's big. He's real big. He's real strong. He's got a big name. He likes to bang. I've watched his fights. I've watched plenty of his fights. He likes to get in there and he likes to bang. I like to bang. It's kind of a fun pastime for the both of us, it seems. I am also a man that likes to please the fans. Yeah, winning is cool, man, but I would rather lose an exciting fight than win a boring fight. And hands down, every day of the week. That's
No,
just
and I
what I
already
want to
know, like
see.
you're one of these guys. You don't say no to anybody. The last one out was Belcher, and it's kind of the well known secret that he has his own special sauce, and that's not something Bo was like, shoot yourself up or whatever you want, bro.
Yeah, let's get it. Look,
come fight night.
what I didn't plan on was catching COVID 12 days before the fight. That sucked.
And
But
that's another thing. It just takes everything out of you, dude. Like the last few days, like that. Like people don't understand how that last the last handful of days getting the last few things right when you're battling something like that, and if you haven't had it, like dude, it's almost like the worst cold you ever had times 1,000, and then your body is zapped completely.
plus the flu. Yeah, but look, man, my coach, he's in Wales over there, and we're training on FaceTime, and he sees me having to stop and puke and hang up on him and go inside and use the bathroom and everything for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the fight. And he begged me to pull out. My wife begged me to pull out. I'm like, look, no, that's not something I do. I don't care if I know. If I know I'm finna go in and get the hell beat out of me because of whatever, I'm just gonna do it. My first fight, whenever I fought Troy Beats, I think it was like 7 days before the fight. I had to. Was chopping wood, and my axe went into my left foot, and I put some liquid stitch on it, put some tape around it, put 2 socks on, and like that night went and sparred with Chase Sherman over in Biloxi because I told him I was coming to spar with him, and I'm one. If I tell you I'm gonna do something, my gosh, hell or high water, I'm gonna do it.
The ladies love you. The ladies love you.
Yeah.
Oh, good morning. Thank you. Look, so I get over there and I got blood pouring all out of my boot onto the canvas over there, and they couldn't figure out where it's coming from. I was like, I think I got a pretty good idea. And so I leave straight from sparring, don't even go home and take a shower. I go straight to emergency room in Mobile and get 10 stitches put in my foot. And I think it was like 8 or 9 days later, go and fight Troy Beats. Still got 10 stitches in my foot. Still got trickles of blood coming on my boot, on my sock through my, with my boots at work. And so, anyway, just suck it up, Buttercup. Let's get after this. Something my mom always used to tell me. And, so we just went to work, man. Literally went to work, still stayed working, and went in the ring and did what I needed to do and got over. Hey, look, I think it was about 10 or 11 days before I fought Mike Kyle. I broke my tailbone. Like the same day that I agreed to the fight, I broke my tailbone. Look,
I've experienced that a couple of times where I thought I've broken it, but to break it actually, like that's got to go through your. Oh, I can't even imagine how that must feel. How did you break it?
I fell on my tailbone and landed on a piece of metal pipe that was laying down, and it was like a 6-inch piece of pipe, and I fell. Whenever I fell, my feet come up and my tailbone went straight. Like, thank God I hit my tailbone because that's what broke my fall. I could have been hurt or something. Yeah. Idiot. Yeah, I landed straight on my tailbone. That's all that touched the pipe. Like it because my tailbone stopped me, then my butt cheeks come around and caught the pipe too. But it was all tailbone, man, and I broke the fire out that thing. Look, you want to talk about hurting? Like, I decided for about 45 seconds that it even hurt to breathe, so I just held my breath till I got lightheaded. It was bad, man. Sleeping on my belly, having a ride, the whole ride all the way down to Tampa or wherever we went to. I was switching butt cheeks the whole ride down there.
Sweaty butt cheeks too. It's hot down there.
You can believe that. It was hot, friggin' straining and trying to keep my tailbone from hurting, man. It hurt like crap.
You find a
But
lot of things in your belly button in the warm weather. I'll tell you that.
well, tell me, ooh, I don't want
Yeah.
to talk about. I don't. Look, little known fact about me. I have an Audi. Yeah.
Out
And
of
I'm not
belly
talking.
button or a car?
I'm not talking about the car. I'm broke. All
All
right.
right, let's do a vote. Who? I got an Any. Who's got an Audi?
Oh, man.
1-1. All right, Carrie and Steve, where are we at? We got to break this now. Carrie, you got an Any or Audi?
Any.
Any, Steve?
Any.
All right,
Yeah,
Bobo.
see.
Sorry.
I'm a rare creature.
Now,
I'm a rare
let
creature.
me ask you about the main event on the card you're on. You know, it's gonna be Mr. Hero. You know, he's getting his chance at the title, and we're also gonna get Mr. Lorenzo Hunt is defending. How do you see that fight playing out? Are you sticking
Man,
around?
Yes. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really like the both of them fellas. I really do. I like the both of them. Have had genuine conversations with the both of them, and genuinely like the both of them. It's one to where the way I see it, two of my buddies are going in there to fight. I hope they put on one heck of a fantastic show. I hope they both just beat the bloody stew out of one another, and I hope that the both of them leave the ring free of any serious injury.
Yeah.
Who wins, who loses, draw. Man,
Right?
yeah.
I think they're really close. Like, you know, I know everyone's in love with Lorenzo's speed and his power, but man, Henry, man, he's got something special in him, man.
Do you remember Quentin's first fight?
Yeah, man, like everyone, everyone was dogging on him. Everyone was just like who's this dude?
Yeah.
Even in here, like it was just like he was a man on an island, man, and he's kind of earned his stripes over the past like year and a half or so, and kind of gotten in there and it's fought in some really tough guys and done really well. I mean, I'm really interested to see how this fight plays out. I want to see if he can work the inside game to nullify the power and just be able to do what he's been doing. It's going to be really interesting to see if he can implement that on Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Look, Lorenzo can fight real good at distance. He's always fought real good at distance. He seems to do pretty good on the inside. Hero Henry, Quentin owns the inside fighting game. He is spectacular on the inside. However, if you go back and watch the last few fights, his game at range has come a long ways too. He's come, gotten a tremendous amount better.
How they implement their game plans for this one. It's gonna be a fun one for sure.
Steve, I gotta ask him something. I know where you're going. I gotta ask him something though. Like, have you seen Ben Rothwell's fights in the past? Like, have you been a big fan of watching the heavyweights come up over the last 10 years in boxing, in MMA, and has Ben been on your radar as somebody that you've wanted to fight?
No, not even a little bit. Look, man, I'm an idiot. And I'm just gonna go ahead and be honest with y'all.
No, you're not, man. No, you're not.
No, I am. Trust me. I wear. Look, that's a title I wear proudly, my buddy. Okay, I've worked on it. Look, so I want to be honest with y'all for a second. They was talking about this Ben Rothwell signing with the BKFC and everything, and I have a clue who they was talking about. Not even a little bit. So I had to consult my buddy, what's his name, Google, about this Ben. Yeah. Me and the Googster. Yeah. Me and the Googster had a little conversation there real quick. Figuring out. Yeah. See, you know what it's about now. I'm digging old belly button there on Google. Yeah, and trying to figure out who this was. And then he sent me over to YouTube, and I got to see a little bit of him now. I'm like, oh, that looks fun, actually. Let's let's have a go at that. So that's how all that came about. And man, look, like I said, I wear my little idiot title. I wear that kind of proudly. It's self-proclaimed too, by the way. I gave that to me. But my wife agrees with me, so there's that. Yeah, and but she's large, so like
The
she's like
first step
real
is
large.
admitting the truth, right? The first
Yeah,
step.
exactly. But like I say, to her agreeing with me, and she loses blood circulation when she lets her neck hang down like that. All that skin up underneath there, all them rolls cuts off circulation to her brain. She kind of, anyhow, that's a
So,
story for a
Well,
different day.
now, Bo, I know you like fighting in your backyard.
I don't want to talk about
Dave has
it.
been doing a whole lot of expansion and stuff. Like, we just seen another event in Thailand. We know they're going to go over to UK again soon. If you had to put a stamp on your passport to fight for BKFC, where's the one place you would want to go?
Monroe?
Anywhere in the UK, any as close to Wales as possible. You know, my coach is Welsh, and he lives in close to Swansea, I think it is over there. But if Coach had about 200 people reach out to him wanting to know if we was going to be on the London card.
Yeah, no,
About
that's where I was kind of going, because I know they just had London, and he said it went great, and they're gonna try to go back there immediately. So
yeah.
So if you're victorious October 1st, win, lose or draw, obviously, you're gonna go out there and say, hey, next time you go over the pond and go to the UK,
I want to go. I want to go. Yes, I do. Not to mention, like I said, Coach said he had a few hundred people reach out to him about wondering if we was going to be on the card, and they was wanting tickets. Like, he had some businesses reach out to him wanting front row tables, plural. I was like, my gosh, man. Okay.
You need to make that happen, brother.
Yeah. We could sell a bunch of tickets over there.
We got a question from the chat here. So obviously, they want to know the information for the event. Where to tune in, and do you have a promo code for the coming event?
Yes, I do, and I will get my wife to send it to you because I'm slightly I'm an idiot and I don't know how to find all that stuff. But I'll get my wife to send it to you after the interview here. Maybe we'll post it on comments or something.
We'll definitely put it in the description for sure.
Beautiful.
Bobo, you say you want to go over to the UK, but if you're anything like me, man, I am petrified to get on an airplane, man. Are you used to flying?
I wouldn't say I'm used to flying. I was called one Monday while I was at work, wanting to know would I come into a Friday night fight. It was actually that particular Friday night. It was down in Fort Lauderdale. So Monday at work, I'm just a regular employee. Then all of a sudden, Wednesday, I'm having to get on an airplane to fly down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And then another occasion, I flew out to Worley, Idaho, and back and forth from there. And we had to actually land in Spokane, Washington, and be shuttle bus back to the casino in Worley there, the Coeur d'Alene Casino. But I have flown before. I'm not opposed to it. It's not like.
You remember that name so well, the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Did you lose a lot of money there? So you remembered that very well, like it haunts you or something.
I was beating the evermore piss out of a guy named Skylar Anderson, and just beating him relentlessly. Threw an overhand right and broke his orbital and severed, I think he said, 2 of the muscles that hold your eye socket, and tore his retina and broke my hand. And he gets up and keeps throwing that jab, headbutted me, busted my head all open, and all I had was my left hand. And I come back to the corner and I'm like, why don't you throw in your right hand? Well, it's broke, bud. Broke. Well, they didn't believe me, so I went out there for one more round. I held my right hand up, and he threw a hook or a punch and hit me in my right hand. I pulled it back down and let him continue beating on my face because it didn't hurt nearly about as bad to the face as it did to the hand. And all I had was a jab and left hook, and they stopped the fight after that round. I took my glove off of me and seeing how my hand was swollen up through my hand wraps. They was like, "Oh my God, your hand's broke." You reckon?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I tell you this.
Yeah, I just told you it felt like it.
Now, speaking of
Yeah.
beatings, right? Now, speaking of beatings, we had a question in the chat here, bro. What are your thoughts on Silva and Jake Paul down there in Arizona, October 29th?
Yeah.
Does Anderson put Jake away, or do you feel
You have no idea what we're talking about?
Feels there's some type of predetermined stuff going on here?
Yes. I feel like in a real fight, Anderson Silva beats the forevermore piss out of Jake Paul. I sincerely do. I wish one of them little boys was big enough to fight me. I'd love to, man. Yes, that would be amazing.
So if you can get your hands on Jake Paul, if he would ever have the cojones enough to go up to a heavyweight, you would love to get your hand on that kid?
Jake or Logan, whichever one of the sisters wants it. Yeah,
well,
no doubt.
Here's the thing. Logan's in the WWE. Would you ever do that now? Is that something you would ever
Dude,
do?
I would love to do that. That would. I have a friend in Mobile who wrestles under the name the Rainbow Warrior, and he's a super awesome showman. Super awesome showman. Showmanship is out of this world. He's a bit heavy set, so and he's had a few accidents, so he's not very mobile and not able to do all the acrobatic stuff of wrestling. But at one point, he could do a lot of it. And anyhow, I went to his house for about a month. Was training with him 5 days a week for about a month, and he was showing me a lot of stuff. I got to meet a couple of old school wrestlers come through there. I got to meet. I can't remember their names right now because I've been hitting the head too much. But and I was actually going to do it. Was training for it. Was loving it, man. That joker picked me up and slammed the piss out of me, and it was like the coolest thing in the world, I thought. And I'd gotten to where I was okay at it, and he was like, "Man, you're getting good fast. Like we want to I want to have you in a show. Let you be a heel, come in, and you can take a bump pretty good, which is where you fall." And he said, "Well, bring you in there, have you in a full mask, full body suit, and let somebody beat the piss out of you." I was like, "Well, that sounds fun, I reckon." And I was gonna do it, but then I got offered a professional boxing match for like 10 times what I was gonna make in that wrestling show, 20 times what I was gonna make in that wrestling show. So I was like, "Yeah, sorry, I gotta go throw my hands again, bud."
Oh man, that's. I would love to see that.
You never know, bro. You could probably get connected with some of these bigger things, and maybe get like on NXT and wind up getting a chance to do something and get into the WWE. You never know.
Bobo,
man, it would be awesome.
I want you to knock out all of my heroes, man. I want you to be my new hero.
Come on.
I want you to knock out Big Ben. I want you to
that makes two of us at least.
I want you to go in there. I want you to be the Predator to Mark's Hunt. All right? I want you.
Look, hold on. You know how fun of a fight that would be?
I know.
That would be a very fun fight.
Mark Hunt and Bobo? Oh, my gosh.
That would be amazing.
After you get the knockout, I really hope to see you go in there and call for that, because at this day and age, that's what fighters need to do. And you have the voice,
right?
you have the persona.
You see Mike Perry calling this person out, that person out. Yeah,
man,
Mike Perry's not real like Bobo. Bobo is like a real dude.
Hell, I punch the time clock every day, bud. Every day. Look. So I got to thinking about it, man. This whole little call out and what you're gonna say when they interview you after you beat the piss out of Rothwell and all that jazz and everything. And I don't know, man. There's some other little fella they had signed on here recently. I ain't heard of him having a fight, so might as well say his name while I'm in there.
Who are we referring to here, Steve?
Oh, Hardy buddy. What's his name?
Dan.
No. Is it Dan Hardy or Greg Hardy or?
Oh,
Greg
Greg Hardy.
Hardy.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
in
Greg Hardy?
yeah, he's in there now.
Let's
Yeah,
get
Mr.
that
Woman Beater
going.
used to be the Dallas Cowboy.
Oh, I
That
love
he got
yeah,
UFC and all that stuff.
that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Carrie,
That
Carrie, right?
Hmm?
That's Carrie, right? You would love to see that.
Oh, I'd love to see you fuck him up. 420%. I didn't like when I signed him to UFC. I just don't like. Apart from the fact that I love people, and I just don't like what he does outside of sports. I'm a woman's woman also, and it just everything
I
about
get it.
him was terrible that they signed him in the beginning. It's personal opinion.
I
Bobo,
get it. I've heard
Bobo, can
stories.
I ask you something though? I've
Anything.
been
I'm
I've
an
been
open book.
I've been really guilty throughout my life of a lot of bad things I've done. That I've gone to confession for, and I still need to go to confession for some new ones. Is a man ever forgiven for hurting a woman in that way? And especially, are we able to seek forgiveness through violence like this?
Man,
In this
look
case,
here. A sincere, honest, legit answer is the only thing I'm aware of that you cannot ask for forgiveness for and cannot be forgiven for is suicide.
Hmm?
yeah.
That's the only thing that I'm aware of. Um, as far as that goes, as far as I know, if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. But as far as I know, the you can ask for forgiveness and truly want forgiveness, truly seek forgiveness from any sin, from anything that you've done in this life, and receive that forgiveness. You But you have to truthfully, heartfelt mean it. Truthfully, heartfelt want that forgiveness. When you ask for forgiveness, when Lord forgive me for my sins, what you're saying is you're going to turn from your ways. You understand that it's a sin. You're asking for forgiveness for the sin, to be forgiven for what you've done, and that you're going to turn from that sin. Now, if I go around taking the Lord's name in vain every day, all day long, and every time I say it, Lord forgive me, and turn around and say it again, oh, Lord forgive me. Well, how sincere is that asking for
Yeah.
forgiveness? That's just like your spouse. You go out and you cheat on your spouse. Oh, baby, I'm sorry, forgive me. And then the next night you go out and you cheat on your spouse. Come back, oh, baby, I'm sorry, forgive me. If you're really sorry, you're going to stop doing it.
Yep.
I don't want to see the promo. I want to see the fight, right? It's those words. I
Yeah.
don't want to see the actions, right?
Mm.
Right, exactly. I can ask for forgiveness for, we as people, as humans, we can ask for forgiveness for anything. But if I just ask with my mouth and I don't show that I'm truly sorry and don't show that I truly want to be forgiven with my actions,
Mm.
then man, all I'm doing is speaking dead words.
So, Carrie, you got anything right here to say on the subject?
Well, I actually do.
I hope.
I do absolutely agree with you. God does forgive all sins except for the one sin being suicide. That's the one sin you're not forgiven of. However, you are absolutely right. Your actions, who you are, the fruit of your character, so to speak, is really what's forgiven. And you have a lot of people that like take that and they'll say, they can ask for forgiveness, like you said, for everything, and that's just you have to bear good fruit. You have to be a person of your word, not just want the forgiveness, and essentially. And this is, I mean, just biblically what it says scripturally. Jesus died for our sins, and we are so forgiven already, down to murderers. So it's really, would I love to see somebody have redemption and change and be a better person? Fuck yeah, I love that. I love a good comeback story. Does it happen often? Not often enough.
Right. See, here's the main thing. You just hit on something that made me think about something. it's like a tree. I've got a tree up back, and that tree spits out apples every year. Is an apple tree. It grows apples every year. I can call it an orange tree and tell you I've got an orange tree out there all day long. But if it's just growing apples and never grows an orange, guess what? I don't have an orange tree. Same thing with being a Christian. I can sit here and tell you I'm a Christian all day long. But if I never show the fruits of being a Christian, then guess what? That's not what I am.
Right? Yes.
So,
Bobo, thank you so much, man. You had so many amazing quotes throughout this interview, an amazing story, along with some very laughable and yet very relatable situations in your life, man. So thank you so much, man. This really brings us a lot closer to who you are as a person, to make us really want to root for you to go in there and get that victory over Big Ben Rothwell coming up on October 1st with Hunt versus Hero in Monroe, Louisiana. Bobo O'Bannon, Ben Rothwell. Steve, what do you got here?
I do it how we typically roll this thing up, but we typically throw it over to you, man. Anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to shoot some love out to, your social media sites, any sponsors you may have. The time is yours, my friend.
man, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. We've got a list of sponsors somewhere, and I don't have that list, and I don't have it memorized.
Listen,
And
this is probably the third time I've done this interview with Bobo, and he's done this every single time.
see, I'm just like I said. I promise to you, I really am an idiot. It's not just a self-proclamation; it's true. But no, man, sincerely, speaking sincerely, I want to. Ask for prayers for my wife, and also want to give a shout out to my wife. She's been here and supported me every step of the way. She, whenever we got married, she, I asked her to marry me, and the next day she wanted to know, was I done with fighting, or was I going to fight ever again? And I'm like, why? She said, because I'm not going to be married to a fighter. And well, guess I'm not fighting no more then, babe. And then it was laid on both of our hearts in separate times in church one day. And I kind of pushed it away and tried to ignore it, and then she come to me and said something to me about it, and so it's just meant to be. So I just want to give a shout out to my wife and thank her for supporting me every step of the way. She makes sure my meal preps are done, make sure that my big goofy behind knows when interviews are, and she keeps me on track, man, and gets the helps with sponsors. We've got Vince Anderson on the management team. They started a whole new management company, and he's helping with sponsors and helping take some of the headache off her with other things. And I'm thankful, man. I've got a good team in my corner here. I've got like I say, at least two great people, my wife and Vince. And I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. I'm blessed that even have the opportunity and the help for my big goofy behind to still get in the ring and do this thing, man.
What a success story from Plenty of Fish, though. Come on.
Come on.
Rub belly button.
Either way, Bo, we always wish you the best of skill, man. Hopefully you get out there, you get that big win you were asking for, you were looking for, and you get to the next big fight, and hopefully they can deliver the wish. You can get over the pond, you can get over to the UK, so you can actually have your coach there in your corner. I think if you do get that wish, you'll probably fly out there early, if I won't be mistaken, right?
Come on. I'm sure hoping so. I'm sure hoping at least a couple of weeks early, train my coach for a bit, baby.
Yeah, right. But
look, Rick,
the time.
David Lane, who made these?
See, this is him asking.
Look, I'm sorry.
I gotta give some love.
I my shirt, man. Somebody made me the shirt, and it's got the little Jesus on the back. I don't know if you can see it there or not. I'm my goofy man trying to show you stuff.
My house.
Yeah, welcome to my house from New Breed and Jesse Howard walking out with me, and got the John 3:16 on it. Got the cross, little blood spatter there. Got the bare knuckle there. So, give a big shout out to them for making it for me. Jamie Werman, I think it was. But, yeah, look, thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me on. I hope I ain't too good for him. Hope
Well,
at
we love
least
you,
made a
brother.
halfway decent
Man.
show.
Thanks for your time. We'll definitely do this again for the next one, my friend.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a blessed one.
You too.
John 316. I'm gonna look that up right now. So
Good one.
thank you.
Come
Brother.
on.
All right, Bobo.
But
I love you, brother.
All right. All
All
right,
right, everyone.
guys.
That was BKFC Heavyweight Bobo O'Bannon. He's always he's a character. I love him. He
I
is
can't
like
get enough.
the big silent southern boy if you push him right, you gonna go get one ornery some bitch. That's what
Steve,
you going that's what it is. He's definitely a unique guy. Definitely real where his his wife's been going through a lot of things. Like when he tells you like she is like every other disease under the sun,
that's
he doesn't he's exaggerating to a point, but he's not really exaggerating, which is the kind of the sadder part. So he does like a lot of the stuff, like she's always there screaming, hollering, jumping around like a crazy person, getting her heart rate way past the way it needs to be. And that's why he does bring in a guy like Vince Anderson to kind of help make the managerial side of fighting a little bit easier, because she was basically been doing it the last handful of years all on herself. So
Steve, what would you do if you're in there with him and you dropped your quarter? I mean, come on, who's fighting? Who wins the fight for the quarter in there? Come on.
Listen, you just got throw the heel up, dude. End it real quick.
You know what's special about our show that separates us from everyone else?
What's
Stephen
that,
Carey?
brother?
That we get these fighters to actually open up and feel comfortable enough to share these really intimate type of stories with us. Stephen Carey, you guys being such legends in the game, and then me being a little gremlin behind the keyboard, just throwing stuff out. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but we get like crazy stuff happening here. It's
always fun when we get the man. Listen, not the other beat last week with Killer Karunas and her managers.
Carrie, you missed it.
I know. Sorry, I was in a pool tournament.
They told me now you fight a dick. That's what happened last night.
And you go pow pow pow. I was fucking dying.
Like this, Carrie. Now you fight a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, when what? She was serious too, because we were talking about fighting, right? And waiting to relieve yourself sexually before or after, and waiting till after. And she was like, my coach telling me now you fight a dick after the fight. And we were like, whoa, we were totally thrown off by that. We couldn't believe what happened, man.
I love it.
Let's talk a little bit about what you were doing, Carrie. What were you up to?
I was actually going to quickly quote John 3:16 for you.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Oh yeah, that's for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, whoever believes in him shall not perish but shall have eternal life.
Wow.
Yeah, mine's 8:12. That's my favorite.
Oh, you have one. We actually have Helen calling in. So how about that, Carrie? Why don't you lead us in with this? Are you comfortable with that here? We got Helen Peralta calling in from Invicta FC as a flyweight, and she's slated to return September 28th versus Poliana Botelho. If you guys can stumble over that after last season on Ultimate Fighter. Carrie, why don't we lead you in here? All right.
What's up, Helen?
What up?
We got Showtime.
Welcome to Deviants, Helen. How you doing tonight?
Good. A little worn out, but expected. I had 2 sparring sessions today. So there was 7 rounds this morning, and then 8 more rounds this afternoon. It's like Shark Tank style this afternoon, and yeah.
I got to ask you something right off the rip, though. Is there a sign yet over the gym, or we got no sign yet? Is there a sign over the gym?
The one in Fairfield?
Yeah, over at Ground Zero.
No, there's no sign yet. You just
Really?
need to.
There's no
It's like a Fight Club. You need to know where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So obviously everyone here knows who you are. You really don't got to introduce yourself. We don't need any big warm-ups. I mean, you are such a star. Do you even realize it yet, or are you really not aware of it? Does this season of Ultimate Fighter not even seem like 10 years ago, if I was on Ultimate Fighter, man, if I was on that season with Ronda, does it not even seem real yet? Does it seem like there's so much more? You've barely even scratched it. How are you feeling right now? What's going on?
I don't really feel like a superstar. I'll tell you that. I feel like I'm a starving artist. The Ultimate Fighter, I mean, it's all right. They really fell short when it came to the editing. I think they did a terrible job. They kind of made it one of my least favorite seasons of the Ultimate Fighter. Even though I'm in it, I had to skip some of it because it looked like they hired someone last minute and gave them all these hours and hours of footage, and they just picked up whatever. Because I'm telling you, it was not boring in the house. Whoever edited is an idiot.
I mean, so happy for you.
They left out anything that was worth watching. I was falling asleep to some of it. I was like, oh my God, I can't. And then, I always had the hope. I'm like, maybe they're going to put this here. Maybe they're going to put this there. They didn't follow like the timeline. They were just putting things wherever they wanted. So some things were completely out of context. And it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm getting drunk after you already told me I lost a fight that I won. And at the end of the show, and then you switching it and putting it at the beginning to make it look like I'm doing that straight from the go, when it's not true. I cut away for fights I didn't have as backup. They didn't even show that because at least it would have let promoters know that I was there to fight. I mean, there were so many TV-worthy moments in the house, and they just left it out. It was very weird. I mean, I know that ESPN is owned by Disney, and they have to sanitize it a little bit, but it was they butchered that season. It was horrible. It was really bad.
What one of the reasons why a lot of people have been turned off for Tough is because of the editing, where you're not the only person that's been saying that over the past handful of seasons that the editing's been bad. They haven't really been actually showing some of the stuff that's been going on in the house that actually is why a lot of people are kind of tuning out. Where I also feel that why Dana's been kind of pushing these Contender Series more is because I think he's trying to phase out Tough. That's just my personal opinion. I think
you're right.
He's contractually obligated to still do Tough right now, but he's trying to end it.
Yeah, I think he's like emotionally invested because Tough did save the UFC at one point, but Dana was not happy with them either. They were not happy with our conditions in the house. It was the most boring house I ever seen. I could have stayed at an Airbnb. Wow. I had a better time. There was nothing glamorous about that house. It was boring as fuck. Nothing was hot. The bathtub wasn't hot. The sauna wasn't hot. The pool we were using as cold plunges. Like we had nothing, no recovery, no access to the Performance Institute, no access to anything. I mean, it was crazy. The very last day, Dana found out they didn't even heat up the pool for us. Wow. And he was like, "Wow, guys, you suck." I'm like, "This might be your last season." And I was like, "Yeah, Dana, like seriously, what the fuck?"
You know what's crazy about all of this? You just mentioned you feel like a starving artist, right? Do you know how many people out there that are in my shoes, Steve's shoes, Carrie's shoes, that would love an opportunity to be able to edit and show the world the magic inside mixed martial, especially for the females and your guys' stories individually? I mean, what's one of the biggest things they missed about you on this season of The Ultimate Fighter?
They missed that. They literally edited me out. I mean, I'm surprised I'm still listed as one of the participants when you Google it. I mean, I taught so many cooking classes in that house, like so many cooking classes. I taught people how to cook all sorts of things, all sorts of different recipes. I even cooked for Amanda Nunes on her coaches. I made some tacos. We watched fights live. I had a lot of little conversations in the back. They call the confessions, where I will like call out the fights. I didn't miss one fight. I got all the fights right. Who was gonna win and why? They left that out. They left a lot of like really good conversations between the fighters in the house. Some dramatic, some that will add some, like TV worth watching, because this is not like that. We have the contenders for the fight. This is not about the fight. It's supposed to be about the personality of the participants. It's supposed to be raw. But they edited, they put things here and there, whatever they wanted. They did not follow the timeline the way it was supposed to be. I was getting drunk in the last week because I was pissed. And they put that at the beginning, like I just showed up there and just started getting drunk, which is not the fucking case.
You were like, here's Helen.
Dude, it's like I worked my ass off. And nobody works harder than me. And that's how you're going to portray me. And only that way do you leave out all the other stuff. all like the good stuff. I even poured like the guys taught them how to pour wine, which is like different from fighting, but that was the whole reason why I put myself in that situation. Why the fuck would I want to be in a house with all these fighters? Why would I want to do that? Like, be away from, they have people in my personal space. I didn't do it for the fight. I can get a fight anytime. I did it because I wanted people to see another part of my personality. And I usually I keep to myself, but I purposely let it out a little bit more just for the TV, because it's supposed to, I was doing my job, I thought, and it was a waste of time and energy because they edited it all out. Yeah, I got censored from the moment I walk out to do the weigh-ins. I got censored. I have to redo my own weigh-ins. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Whoa. Rewind. Steve, you getting the same reaction? What do you mean you had to redo the weigh-in? That's really weird. That's like Kim Kardashian have to redo her birth reaction.
Yeah.
Come on.
I had to redo my weigh-in to make it more Disney friendly or whatever the fuck their idea was. There was nothing wrong with it. Like, there was no hot water in the house, and I always come out with my fight shorts and a bra like a fighter. I don't go out there in lingerie. It's not my personality, and I portray myself as a fighter. But I had dinner the night before because I don't cut weight for 125, and I woke up half a pound over. So I'm like, I go turn on the hot water, and the hot water is not hot. The bathtub is not working. The sauna is not working. So
Helen, you're just complaining now. You're from Iowa. You love cold water. Come on.
But I needed to.
Sometimes you need. At some point in time, you're going to need hot water when you're in the middle of the fight situation. When you're trying to cut weight, you're trying to recover, etc.
Yeah.
So I couldn't cut the half a pound. So I came out. Like, realized my bra weighed half a pound. So I put tape over my nipples, and I came out to the weigh-in, because I needed to make weight, and then they made me redo the whole thing. But I had the same amount of covering that my opponent had, which this girls always wear this tiny little bra that barely cover their boobs. So I did the same with tape, and then they censored me, and they had me do the weigh-in again.
That's absolutely rough. Coming out in an experience where you should feel like, oh my God, this is my moment. Like, if ESPN contacted me or like, we're going through journalists to be the next to be a commentator on Invicta FC with TJ DeSantis, I'd be like, oh my, all excited. And then they cut me out because this and that. Man, I would feel so hurt about that. But that isn't really your case, Helen, because you're such a bigger star than what the Ultimate Fighter really had to present to you. I feel. Carrie and Steve, do you agree with me here that she's bigger than what the Ultimate Fighter really had to give to her? I knew her way before.
Well, I mean, at the same point in time, that's why she went out for the seasons is for the benefits for being on the Ultimate Fighter.
I wasted half a year. Then they wouldn't let me fight, and I even won that contract. The contract for Tough is the worst contract in the UFC. It does not have an out clause, and I'm so glad I'm not in it. Like, some people are like
15 and 15.
It's way less than that, and it's not even the money. It's like there's not an end date, like all the new contracts have. And I'm very good with contracts. So when I saw it, I thought they would make you sign the contract at the end of the show. They make you sign the contract at the beginning of the show in case you win. So you're already tied up. And even if coming in as the loser of the Ultimate Fighter, the contract is even worse. So when some people are like, you should be in the UFC, I'm like, dude, I dodged a bullet. I will be in the UFC. It's just not through that fucking contract. And I'm so glad that that was not in the finale. It all worked itself out. I just felt like I lost some time where I could have been fighting, because even after the season was over, we would finish filming. I could not compete.
Yeah, you're through the contract. You cannot fight until after the finale airs.
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, wow. Which you actually do have an upcoming fight.
He's right. Why a lot of people they don't want to go through the Ultimate Fighter if you're going to try to get to the UFC. Everyone would rather just get signed straight up or go through the Contender Series because for the most part, like, it's not the same.
Okay,
you can have your manager like negotiate a contract at that point in time.
Yeah, and not only that, like, you coming into the UFC anywhere that's not the Ultimate Fighter, you're coming in with a better contract. That's, I knew that going in. I just thought that I will only have to sign the contract if I won, and I thought I was going to be the only fighter to win the Ultimate Fighter and not sign the contract. But I didn't know they make you sign right away, and I didn't win the show, so it is what it is. But I don't see as what people think it was just like, oh, this is amazing. You're in the Ultimate Fighter. I'm like, no, dude, you know what's amazing? I'm Helen fucking Peralta. That's amazing. The Ultimate Fighter can fuck off.
And you're sitting there saying like you kind of feel like you got that chip on your shoulder. You're a little disrespected right now and things of that nature. Now, as we were doing the intro, I was looking back, like you're the last person to also beat Christine Ferreira, who's kind of be the queen of BKFC right now. If she's looking for bigger fights, is that something you would entertain, taking a step away from MMA at the point in time, or do you want to concentrate on MMA and see where this is going to go for right now?
I'm not the last person to beat Christine. I'm the only person to beat Christine in bare knuckle. That's like a huge differentiation. And yes, I did make it clear. I commented. I let them know I wanted to do it. I know they're all about abuse and flashing tits after. And all this WWE stuff. I don't know how to do any of that stuff, but I can fight. So if they want a real fight give the champion a real challenge, I'm open for it. I think I want to do it as a fan mostly because I love the first fight so much. And I also feel like Christine has grown so much and she's so much better now. I think she deserves the opportunity to show the world that she's the best. So by putting together a rematch, you're not only to satisfy me as a fan or the fan that want to see the fight, you're also showing respect for your champion by giving her the opportunity to get that back, that one back. It was a close fight, and I think she deserves a rematch.
I agree. I think that you guys should be able to run that back. I agree that also with the fact that they're kind of going in a different direction with their women's division, even with who they've matched her up with over the past handful of times. Nothing against Britain. We already know that she was fighting above her weight class at that point in time, and I don't know why Taylor Starling was in there. I think that thing
she's got a lot of followers.
I think that whole thing was manufactured. Her taking her belt, the whole thing, it felt forced to me. Nothing against Taylor or anything like that. It just felt like they were forcing that entire situation on us, that entire fight, everything.
It was orchestrated. They literally put the cameras in place. You called a friend to make this happen because people like that WWE bullshit. And you know what? There's a space for it. And if it makes money, it makes sense. You can have your little charade going on. But have the real fights too, I actually love watching these girls that have no skills that come out there half naked. Love them, violence and sex together is totally my jam. I'm all pro it. I'll like all of their pictures and videos and whatever, and I'll follow their page. Yeah, I'm definitely part of the problem in that case. But also,
start calling you Helen Peralta,
and
that's it. We found our new nickname.
I'm part of the problem. I know this, but we also deserve to have real fights. Real competition. All these promoters, they want to promote boobs and nice bodies. That's lazy. You're trying to promote something that can promote itself. How about you promote the fighters that need promoting?
Carrie?
Choose a thought.
No, she's absolutely right. I mean, everybody.
Nail on the head, like everybody.
Those are boobs, and
let's put these nails out.
They're there.
Yeah. Carrie, thoughts?
Everybody wants to see that, and you guys deserve that. You deserve real fights. And I mean, everybody that you've beaten in the past, your past opponents, you've beaten some amazing people. One of my personal friends, Jennifer Chiang, you really beat her up pretty bad. It was a great fight. Congratulations on that. And I'm just excited to see you in there. I can't wait to see you fight again.
Oh my God, I can't wait to get in there. To shake this off, finally get rid of that Ultimate Fighter curse where they didn't let me fight for half a year. And you know what? Like, I was healthy. Like, I haven't been healthy for so long. So being healthy all this time, training all this top gyms, putting in all that work and not being able to compete was killing me. Like, to me, going to the gym is not to be like further my career and get better. It's mental health too. I need to be in there. I cannot not have a fight lined up. I lose my shit, So not being able to compete and doing what I love to do was really getting to me mentally and physically, because once your mind starts to go, you're physically tired all the time. You're in a bad mood. You start feeling sick even when you're not. The moment I signed that contract, it was just like, fuck yeah, now I feel good. I did 15 rounds today. I don't have any female partners. I did 7 rounds this morning with a very high level striker. Have some wrestling too, but mostly because of the striking. And then tonight I did 8-round Shark Tank style of just like MMA grappling. So you have the MMA glove, you do a little bit of ground and pound. Obviously you don't go 100%, But look at my fucking face. I mean, I caused some shots. I'm like, I'm all beat up, but I'm happy. You know, I love this life. And I want to be able to do what I love to do. I just love to fight.
So
now I got to ask you, were you surprised by the result of the pay-per-view after for the coaches after the Ultimate Fighter that Amanda was basically be able to play with her food, so to speak, and put a little beating on Juliana Pena? Was that surprising to you?
I wouldn't say it was surprising that Amanda won. I mean, there's a reason why she's been the champion, dominant champion for so long. And when you put the two best in the world, you cannot be surprised when it goes either way. You know, if I go out there and I fight Christina again and I knock her out in the first, you cannot be surprised. She knocks me out in the first. You shouldn't be surprised. If we go this is another word. It's hard, you know, it's hard to like really guess that kind of a fight. So I wasn't surprised, you know. I was a little, you know, emotional because I spent so many weeks working with Juliana and I knew she could have done more than what happened, you know, but there's other things, which with every fighter, there's always so many other things behind the scene that had nothing to do with the fight itself. And on that, you know, that's my limit.
I gotta ask you, is her daughter standing behind her away and staring?
Oh my God!
Not the greatest photo.
Oh, it was great. It was great because it was a little video. You can tell she got intimidated at one point. She took a deep breath. And then she was like, no. She went right back to staring down Amanda fucking Nunes. I mean, that little girl is a beast. She's a beast.
See, the reason why I asked is because apparently lately it's been taboo since, you know, Usman fight that people are saying some of these champions need to start leaving their children.
I agree. I don't think you should bring your weaknesses to war. That's how I feel. But everybody has their own ritual, and I would have never had an opinion on that. I never voiced it. Because she has her ritual. Her daughter was there when she won the title. She's always been there. But I don't think if somebody that you have people that you care about, they can do two things. They're either your strength or they're your weaknesses. And if they're your weaknesses, you don't bring them with you to war. Why would you bring weaknesses to war? That makes no sense to me. But that's just how I feel.
I hear you. Like I said, like it's one of the things that's kind of like become a topic to talk about and things of that nature. Like I agree. Like if it's a part of your routine, then it's something you should do. But if it's one of these things where it's like you said, like not even just a weakness, but like something that could take away from what you're trying to do, something that you have to deal with outside of what you're trying to get in there to go and do, then he or she should be left at home. Just so it's something you don't really have to deal with because a lot of stuff has to go on during fight week to everything to go right for you athletes to perform the way you need to in the cage.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be your kid. It could be your mom. It could be your girlfriend. It could be your wife. If there's that part of you that you know that's your weakness, don't bring it with you to war. It just doesn't make any sense because now you're not just fencing out for yourself. Now you're also trying to protect someone else. And it's easier when you only have to worry about yourself. So, you know, we can talk after the fight. We can meet after the fight. But when I go in there, I'm going to work. I'll talk to you when I'm done with work, like we do, like most people do in their regular life. You don't bring your kids to work, whatever your job is. You meet them afterwards. You know, it's just, especially when it's something like this. Obviously, we want to go there and not take a shot and end the fight in 5 seconds and highlight reel in our favor. But that's not always the case, not at this level, you know. And it's just, I don't know. For me, I never done that. I've gone through fight when it's just me and my coach, most of them. And people watch when they want to watch. I had a few matches where I had people come in to watch, but it's not my priority. Like, I don't care who shows up. I got to show up.
Little known fact, do you show up all the time when hula hooping? Because I know you're the baddest blue belt on the planet, but are you really the hula hoop champ? Is what we want to know.
Oh, I am. I'm willing to test that title against anybody.
We got to see this though. Like, I really do want to set up a competition with female and male fighters with hula hooping, man. Like that's pretty. Even with the what is it? The reflex ball. You're insane at that. I saw you working that reflex ball. I mean, I try to do that. I just it's flashbacks of my ex-girlfriend. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm not that good at it. But it's,
oh man.
I mean,
now Helen, we had gotten asked this earlier. Anderson Silva, Jake Paul finally got announced. Do you think it's a work Or do you think Anderson's going to be able to just absolutely blow through this kid October 29th down there in Arizona?
I think I love the Spider, of course. I think Jake Paul wins, whether it's a work or not. I think this is just an exhibition fight, guys. This is not like a real fight. It's an exhibition match. People are there just for people with money are there to watch this novelty thing that wouldn't otherwise happen if it wasn't because there was money, because it doesn't really make sense in any way, shape, or form. But Paul needs to win that fight in order for his train to keep going. And I know how Anderson Silva feels about fighter paid and fighter having more options. So, I know he wouldn't throw a fight on purpose, but he would definitely do it for the better of the fighters who have now more option because of Jake Paul. I know most people, I don't watch it, like, I don't care. I don't know what kind of YouTube thing he does, but I think it's good for the sport. Anytime that you have competition is good for anything you're doing, because right now we have a monopoly and we need to break away from that.
And that goes to what my poll question was. Nate Diaz was without a doubt the biggest winner last weekend. The MMA gods saw it fit to kind of rewrite what was inevitably about to be written, and just kind of threw all the chips in his bag.
Yeah,
that was pretty amazing. I mean, I know it's really hard to coordinate so many people to be able to have a work. I mean, like, how do you have a work without other people knowing you're doing this? And when you're an entity like the UFC, it will be hard to explain, because eventually the problem with people is that they always have to open their fucking mouths. One person tells another person, tells another person, tells another person. So I don't think it was a work, but I do think it was manipulated. I don't think it was a work where you call people in and give money. No, it wasn't like that, because I wouldn't take that risk if I was in charge of something so big. I know better. I know people. People suck. They don't know how to keep secrets. They don't know how to keep secrets. But I can manipulate it. You can manipulate it
myself.
You are.
I don't think it was a work, but like I said, I think when it got to a certain point, like
it was manipulated.
I think they knew Shumanov was going to be over, and was like, you know what, dude, just don't let's just do this a different way.
It was not going to look good for the UFC. And then they finally realized, like, yeah, we were mad at him when we gave him that fight. We won, and it makes sense from the business point of view. You don't want your asset to leave in with more value to go compete against you. You want to devalue them.
And exactly, compete against you, because he's opening a promotion. 1, 2, that he's either going to go to another rival promotion or somebody that is going to pull views. And arguably, you could sit there and say over the last 10 years, he's probably been their most consistent draw over that period of time, win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely, it's a big start, because he was never changed by the UFC and the circumstances. He was always being himself. And that is a huge scarcity of personality out there. Most people are a reflection of their fucking environment. And it's insane to watch, because everybody's the same. Everybody does the same thing. They like the same thing. They share the same thing. Boom, it's driving me insane, dude. And then you have a very few number of people who are themselves all the time, and they don't care who likes them and who doesn't like them. Eventually he became liked, but before, people just thought he was a pothead that couldn't put a sentence together, right? That's what people were saying when he was about to fight Conor McGregor. And then when he finally got that win, that everything flipped.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane that this is the world we're in. Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. I like that you're in tune with all of that. Were people in the house like what were you realizing about people in the fighter house? Were they up to date with a lot of this stuff, or were they kind of detached from a lot of the stuff going on in the combat sports scene?
I kind of zoomed them out most of the time, because there was not many intelligent conversations going on. And there was a few people that were trying, because they knew it was going to go on TV. They were trying so hard to portray a personality on TV that I couldn't bother talking to them, I'll be in the kitchen, keeping myself busy, making different stuff. Somebody asks me something, I'll do a little cooking class, like show them people how to do stuff. I'll bring them into my world, but I try not to go into theirs, because their world was fucking boring. So like, if you came to talk to me, I'll bring you into my world, like with my kind of conversation. But I always try to avoid just kind of going into their world and have to deal with, with what's going on in their head. Just kind of say in my own head in a way, but without making it public. Just like, anybody that approaches me, I bring them into my framework.
See, why can't we see like all of the footage of you cooking, and like what's one thing that you wish they released from The Ultimate Fighter that maybe we can even get them to release?
Definitely some of those cooking classes, like, because it was like,
Gotta see that. Come on.
I mean,
Right?
first of all, I'm a very amazing cook, but also I wanted people to see a part of me that wasn't me hurting people. It was me nourishing people. So it's like the
Yeah.
opposite of fighting. So that was something that I really wanted out there. And then I had a few rants, about how most jiu-jitsu coaches always fuck their students, even if they're underage.
Oh!
And they censor that immediately, but I think they should have put it out there. They probably know a lot of jiu-jitsu coaches that are their fucking friends. But I felt like that needed to be out there, and they cut that out.
Taboo thing, but Helen, oh my God, you're so right.
I've heard this from so many female fighters.
You see it everywhere. Look at how many fighters are dating their coach or whatever, and it's. I didn't expect to see anything like that, but let me tell you something.
I almost got sued for this.
I'm shocked that the shit that I've seen. So you're right.
There's so much of that. I remember there were some gyms. If I notice anything weird, I will let them know.
I got nothing but love for him, but no one talks about Pat and Rose.
I was.
Oh yeah.
I love the both of them. Don't get me wrong, but nobody talks about it. It's like
that is a hostage situation. I'm sorry. I see it. It's a hostage fucking situation.
Oh my God.
I'm hoping to see that sign that says "Help me" in one of those videos, like just in a corner. Like you have to really dig in to find it.
Helen.
Fire me. I don't care.
Carrie, what were you saying, Carrie?
Does you have Stockholm syndrome where you become in love with your captor?
Yep.
That what? I mean, really, because when you look at their relationship and how young, I mean, it's a little like you kind of got to step back and go, whoa, and
especially when you hear how it started. Like
in normal worlds, people like look at that and frowned upon. You know what I mean? So it's a touchy. It's very, very touchy. And when you see young girls in gyms and they're, it's young girls are uncomfortable in general. And then you get your coach or who could tend to. You see a lot of people that are grooming is a groomer. I don't know the word to say. There are females that are like that too. I've seen females that are fucking, in my personal opinion, I'm like, yo, you got a couple screws loose. But that's in everything, and it's up to us, in my personal opinion, to educate people on that, especially as women and to
in martial arts, I feel like you should be called out on it. And there's so many jiu-jitsu coaches are always fucking girls that are underage in their class. And that's just not good. It's not. I see it all the time, and I always have this rule. I have never dated, and I can say this clearly. I have absolutely never dated anybody I train with ever, because to me that's my special place, and I try to keep it away. But I've seen it, and it makes sense that you spend too much time with someone, you might like them. But for someone in a position of coach, you're supposed to be a fucking mentor. To go around and be screwing these little girls that you're not gonna get in with, and how these young girls are. They might be really passionate about jiu-jitsu, and then you break their heart, and that's it. They're never training again. They go off the rail. They, it completely changes their life.
Yeah, you ruin their sanctuary that they came there to kind of help either build confidence up for something or protect themselves.
That could be a girl's safe space.
That's what I'm saying.
Or they're going to get nourished, like you were saying, mentally, emotionally, physically. They're learning, and there's so much, and you're learning a team aspect. There's so much that you're supposed to learn doing mixed martial arts that is screwing around with your coaches or your coach screwing around with your student is just, that's like the number one. No, you're not supposed to. It's
no.
Hard.
As a coach, I can see people like other people who are in a position of power. So the moment I sense that, I immediately shut it down. But you're a fucking mentor. You're telling me you have another place to put your fucking dick, dude? Seriously? Are you kidding me? It just blows my mind that they would even cross that line. To me, that's huge. And so I did had a few rants in the house about that. And, I put up some examples. They probably have a lot of friends who do that. All these fucking pedophiles out there. And they censor the whole thing. So it's like, whatever.
Helen, Carrie, go, please.
Really quick. I really love that we're bringing this up because it's important. No, it's really, really important. I was at a fight, and a friend of mine who runs the fight organization, or doesn't anymore, his daughter was there, and there was a coach that walked past and said something where his wife was like, you know what, we're not bringing her anymore. You can't trust any guys. You don't know who they are. Number one, you really don't know them. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, he had the gall to do that. Like, to flirt with your daughter in front of your wife. I'm like, dude, that's not a creepy guy. That's a pedophile. And
Absolutely.
Pull it out for what it is. I'm like, no, that's a fucking pedophile. I'm sorry. Like, especially the person's record. I know the ages of girls that he's been with, and I could confidently say, that's fucked up.
How weird. How weird.
And people need to be called out for it. I'm sorry.
There's so many people in power that they enable each other because it's a bunch of pedophiles and nobody fucking talks about it. But hey, if you come up with tape, we're gonna fucking censor you. Fuck you, Disney.
Here's the thing I want to say, and I've witnessed a lot of girls feel like they were the cause of the situation that occurred and are afraid to come forth with bringing it to light in fear of thinking that they're wrong. Helen, how would you approach this situation if somebody approached you and with this situation? What would be your words of guidance to somebody in this sad situation?
The first thing I would do, I would let the girl know that what they're feeling is exactly how they're supposed to be. Their brain is not developed enough to know that they are being preyed by someone else. And then I will show them examples. And the reason why it doesn't get reported is because, yeah, you feel like you did something wrong, right?
Oh, Helen, are you still there?
I think she froze a little bit.
Frozen in the middle of a very important one.
Like, great time to
Terry,
freeze.
what would you say?
I would absolutely say, and piggybacking off of Helen, your feelings are absolutely correct. You are supposed to, however you're feeling about it, speak about it. Don't sit there and internalize it. That's the worst thing you can do. All you are is in your own head. So,
Wait, here she's. She's good now.
Anything.
Let me say this one more time, Helen. If somebody approached you in a situation where they were at a gym and their coach or somebody there was making them feel very uncomfortable, how would you go about talking to them about this? What would be your way of going about handling this kind of a situation that happens way too often?
Oh, I think you should come in with honesty. The first thing I will let them know is that they're feeling exactly what they're supposed to be feeling. And the reason why that person that was supposed to be a mentor was able to take advantage of them is because they have a blueprint. It's not the first time they do it. And everybody at their age will feel like you are going to feel like it's your fault because you don't know any better. This person didn't know that you were going to feel that way. And that's why they took advantage of you. And then I will show them other examples and why it happens. Just straight up. I'm not going to hold your hand and try to explain to you. And yeah, this happened to you, but it doesn't have to define you. What we're going to do for now is just get rid of the problem. And that's not you. The problem is this asshole pedophile on this side. Mm-hmm. You didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. Just one last question on this subject. If this is going on in a gym, do you guys know of anywhere that people can even reach out for something like
that's
this?
What I think
this is an ongoing issue.
Could see something done as somewhere where someone could talk to somebody.
I feel like the problem that girls don't go and always report it, and they may be shamed into by their attacker or whatever you want to call him, is because the prosecutors, if that goes to court, will railroad the fuck out of that girl no matter what. It doesn't matter, and they literally will dig up anything they can, and it's terrible what they do. They re-victimize victims all the fucking time. More often than not, girls are so terrified because they don't want. What if they sent their boyfriend a picture? They don't want that shit coming out there.
Yeah.
There's variables that they will tell you, the perpetrator, and even sometimes the cops will tell you this is going to come out in court. All of it, and it's like, why make a victim feel worse? One, than they already do. Two, we need a better system. We need a way better system where girls should feel that they can, and maybe reach out. Maybe the reach out to women, reach out to another woman, reach out to somebody that is older than you, maybe somebody that's a little bit more powerful than you, whatever. If it's not your mom, someone. It's always easier to talk to a girl if you're a girl. I just really is.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just girls. Like, literally, our country and most countries are run by fucking pedophiles. The problem is so much bigger. The only thing you can do is just prevent your kids from becoming victims by forming them, by giving them the real life. Don't hold their freaking hands and try to give them a code. You tell them straight up what it is.
Yep.
Because that's the only control you have. Literally, our government, most of the people in power are all fucking pedophiles. The majority of them are. And if they're not themselves, they know someone who is, and they're not willing to put them out there because it's just too much power and money involved.
Can I just say, I'm going to personally message you after this because I've been ripped off of social media for talking about that for the last.
Let's change the subject before they censor me yet again.
That's so sad.
It's where you can rip them all apart because I've been taken down 100 times. I don't care. We'll do that on the side. Go on.
That's so sad.
I know about this.
That's a very big fight, even bigger than the fight that you have coming up, Helen. And I mean, the upcoming fight, the motivations behind it, what are they? Because everyone is dying to see this upcoming fight that you got going on September 28th, especially after the Ultimate Fighter against Poliana Botelho. What is your drive behind this?
Because she's a good fighter. I told China Knapp, I said, I'm a free agent. I want to come back. I will fight anybody you give me, but I would prefer if it's someone that's really good. Like, I'd like to put myself in tough fights because I feel like for example, my fight with Christine, when I'm put in a tough situation, it tends to bring the best out of me, and I want to have a very good fight. So, when this girl, she became a free agent also, she got cut from the UFC, I think it was June this year. So it's very fresh. It's not like an older fighter. And she's trying to get back to the UFC. I'm like, oh, great. I'm trying to get in. So this is great. Well, how about we fight for this? We fight for this one. I think it's going to be a really good fight. I hope it goes at least 10 minutes because I need some content from my page since I don't show my tits on every picture. So I need pictures from me fighting. So I'm going to try to make it 10 minutes, but if I see an opening, before that, or she feels really strong, then I'm going to try to get out of there because, you should not be playing with your food. I know I've done that a lot in the past because I just enjoy so much being in there. When I'm in there, I feel like I'm myself. And then every time I'm not in the ring, I feel like I'm trying to pretend to be somebody else. So sometimes my fights go to decision because I'm having so much fun, but I'm not going to do that this time. The max amount of time I want to be there is 10 minutes. Somebody's getting knocked out. I'm going to do my best to make sure it's not me, but that's what I'm going for. That's the kind of fights I like to watch. And I want to make sure my fans are having fun and everybody that tunes in has a reason to tune in again when they see that I'm fighting.
Oh, we always do. Trust, we always do. You're a bigger star than like I keep saying. I can't wait for you to realize it. And when that moment comes,
it's more like when everyone else realizes it. We already know what she is.
Oh man, I just can't. I can't even bring you guys to understand the world that we're in right now. To be able to see Invicta FC where it's at, how far it's come, is just absolutely amazing. Helen, you started at 29 years old. To see how far it's come has been an amazing journey. We've been on this journey with you, and it's been absolutely nonstop. And this is not even a quarter of the way with you. Ultimate Fighter was not even anything, like you said. So we can't wait to see what goes on this upcoming event, September 28th. Do you know if tickets are still available, if there's promo codes where people can tune in, buy tickets?
The tickets are all, because I think it's stadium style, so they're all general admission. So you have very good view no matter where you're sitting. And as far as watching, it's going to be broadcast live, free on Facebook, YouTube. I think Bloody Elbow, XFC. What they really want, I think Shannon did an amazing job. The entire card is amazing. Actually, two of other girls from the Ultimate Fight are going to be there. My teammate, Hannah Guy, is fighting Caitlin Neal from Team Nunes also. So, Shannon, it was great. And then my fight with Poliana is freaking amazing. It's a great matchup. She's an amazing striker. I am going to I'm going to turn her into a wrestler. It's going to be a great fight.
Hey.
But they're also, the whole card is amazing. And it's on a Wednesday where there's nothing else going on as far as a combat sport. So there's no reason to not tune in. I think it was she picked the perfect date. She picked the perfect fights, and there's so many exciting fights. And the fact that you can watch it free, you don't have to download any app. It's their way of getting their name out there, and also to give the fighters a bigger platform. Because no matter who you are, where you are, you can don't even have to log into YouTube to watch it. You can just find Invicta Fighting Championship on YouTube, and that's it. You get the live stream.
Bada boom, as us Italians say.
Well, Helen, always appreciate the time. Always appreciate the insight. MMA stuff and everything in between. You know how I typically do this, kind of throw the proverbial microphone over to you. Anyone you'd like to thank, trainer partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors you might have. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I would like to thank everyone who had anything to do with me being here today. Not just sponsors. I mean, of course, you need sponsors to help me pay for some of the cost of Ninja training. I could still use some more sponsors if you're interested. But I just want to thank everybody that they look at my upcoming fight, my content, and they're rooting for me. You know, I am really big on energy, and I feel like there's a lot of good, positive energy behind me. My training partners have been amazing. I mean, I have so many scratches and I'm all beat up, but they're really preparing me for this fight. My coaches have been great. We have really good chemistry going on. The fans have been amazing. You know, I didn't realize how little haters I have on my page until I started looking at other people's pages. Like, my page is awesome. Like, I have 5 followers, but the 5 of them are awesome. So I love where I'm at. And of course, thank you guys for giving me, the opportunity to put my ideas out there and, to let people know, who Helen Peralta is, because based on what you see me in the ring, when I'm in the ring, that's different. I'm there it's like a spiritual experience. I know I look like this, I look mean, but I'm not. To me, it's just a perfect moment. It's being finally, it's the only place where it's real now. Everything is so, so many alternative fact and, make believe, realities, that when I'm in the cage, it's the only place that feels real to me, because you cannot lie when you're in there. You can lie your way to a fight like Taylor did. You can lie all the way until they close the cage. But when you're in there, it's real time, and that's why I enjoy it so much. And I appreciate everybody that's giving me the opportunity to be there. On the other hand, I need more than 5 followers because I need to be popular. And because that's how you get paid, apparently. You can't just know how to fight. Knowing how to fight is secondary. You need to be popular. So, follow my page, like my post, reshare, whatever it is. I don't know how that works. Whatever it is that you need to do to make me popular, just if you can help out doing that, please do so. And thank you.
Always a pleasure, Helen. Best of skill
You're the best
in the fight for you. Definitely.
Hey, whoa! We really need to figure out who the hula hoop champ is. So let's get some videos uploaded. All right, we gotta figure this out.
It's gonna be me.
All right.
I'm gonna win. I just know it.
All right,
Helen. Appreciate the time as always. Best of skill. We'll do this again in the future.
Yeah, thank you guys. And nice to meet you, Carrie.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I will be following you.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Later, champ.
All right, good night, everyone. That was Helen, the problem Peralta.
Yeah, right. Helen adding to the problem Peralta.
We always bring out some interesting stuff out of
Steve, how did you come? That was such a good one to come up with.
What?
Helen adding to the
came
problem.
up with it. I just ran with it.
Adding to the problem Peralta. I keep moving these screens around as if like we're gonna get better looking, but like Carrie, you're the only one that does it here.
Where am I?
You're the only one that does it.
But yeah, man, that was a fun one. Bobo O'Bannon and Helen Peralta. Definitely, looking forward to both of their fights. Make sure you're checking them out. He's going to be doing BKFC the 1st of October. As Helen let you know, she's going to be fighting next week.
Steve.
Yeah.
I think it's time for one of our next segments here.
Yeah.
And I believe that's called Tweets of the Week. Here we go.
Twitter, social media, websites. I've found a handful of things that would, might find a bit interesting. Some of it might have been satire. Some of it might have just been person A saying something, fighter B saying something. There were some pretty funny ones. Send Eddie a bunch of them. We'll see what he comes up with.
Which one should we start with here? Let's start with, let's see, Ray Borg. It's been 2 years since being cut from the UFC. I've gone through a lot in that time frame and have reinvented myself as a man. 3 straight wins, no hiccups or fuck ups. And 2 of my 3 fights were fight of the night bangers at Dana White, Sean Shelby, and Mick Maynard. I want my job back. Guys, thoughts on this?
You want to see Ray Borg back in the UFC, Kerry?
Listen, yes.
Listen. I have no problems with him getting back in there. I think he should get another crack.
Let me ask you guys this. Let me make this very simple for everybody. The general discussion, Steve and Kerry. Let's start with Steve. What should qualify a fighter to be able to return to the UFC like an Andre Arlovski? It's
about being exciting, like learning from what got you multiple losses or whatever saw you leave the promotion, like improvement. Being a different fighter, not just the racking wins up, but what does that mean? I can find three Larry Moe and Curly's if I could sit there and say that's 3 wins in a row. I'm not sitting there saying Ray Borg is fighting tomato cans, bums, whatever, however you want to call it. But I do think that there should be a little uniformity to it. Like, nor do I think anyone like Helen should have to jump through hoops to actually get in. So
I like that. I like that you said that. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops to get in.
No, but I also don't think I think the Ultimate Fighter contract should die. It should have died.
Oh, don't get me started. And I like that you brought that up. I really like that you.
And then speaking of that, I think you should go right to something that we're unfortunately don't get to go at in depth, but it's been a real crazy week for combat sports. Not just with everything changing with things. Well, no, we're gonna go to Adrian Yayes. Is that where we're going? Or are you trying to bring up the one now?
Ooh, I'm trying to see which one you want to go with.
Kerry wanted to personally call that KSI, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. For KSI thing with Mike Perry.
Let KSI be all intertwined with Jake Paul and all them guys.
Kerry, do you know who KSI is?
No.
Oh, wow! I'm surprised you don't know who KSI is. Okay.
So would that be really the fight to make, like KSI? Like, guys, I want to know how many of you guys out there know who KSI is, because ultimately, I don't really know who he is besides being a YouTuber who fought Jake or Logan, or you know what I mean. Like, Kerry, I'm on the same boat as you.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't pay attention.
But I think the biggest news this week was Elias, right?
Logan Polar from a couple of
Elias for sure. Mike Bond tweets. Kerry, do you want to read this one here? Tweeted from Mike Bond.
About that. I can barely see it.
Mike Bond.
Here, I'll read it, guys.
He just Elias as a Thread Rose public viewing outside of Toronto. Very emotional scene, as you expect with family, friends. Paying their respect. It was an open casket. That's just a hard one, man. The biggest thing about that, the kid's 34 years old. No one knew. He was dealing with colon cancer, and it just when you go back and look at things now, it's not surprising at all that he was going through this, considering what he was championing. What saw his exit. From the UFC, things of that nature. It really kind of all makes sense in a way now. Like this is why that this great looking guy who could obviously be fighting other fights elsewhere to push back and sit there and run himself out of the UFC. Why would he do that? Why would he champion marijuana to the point that the fact that you're able to see guys like Nate Diaz just walking around smoking hells, doing things like that now because he was so instrumental in getting the therapeutic use exemption in inside of USADA the fighters that are in the UFC, for everyone for that matter. It's something that should have been done a long time ago, and he got the ball rolling a lot of ways in things with athlete wise, which I thought helped a lot of things happen federally wise to start opening things up for a lot of things. I mean, dude, we're at a point in time where Mike Tyson has a strain of weed. Former wrestler Kevin Nash is selling weed now. You have Jim Belushi selling weed. This guy's doing it. Like it's so much changed since the time that he started making this stand and do what he did. It's crazy.
Can I mention something really quick that will relate to Carrie?
Yes.
So obviously we've all know Elias very well. I've been blessed having Elias on for a couple of interviews on my show, and I'll just play this really quick. Oh, never mind on that. But he came on my show and he discussed opiates. He discussed marijuana use, and that was huge to me. Obviously, I talk a lot about it. A lot of these fighters, they go backstage and they get prescribed immediately opiates, and they don't realize what they're getting themselves into, and it's very scary for me to look at. There's so many stories behind this, but a lot of people aren't aware of the real Freddy Krueger nightmare that's behind it. And Elias really actually fought for that, and he was a fighter for fighters. I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. He was a fighter for fighters and fought to the death for that, and actually put up a GoFundMe for people struggling with what he actually grew up with. He had he was struggling his whole life, suffering from a disease. We'll share the GoFundMe down below. Carrie, I want you to share with everybody, because I know you've been through surgery and stuff, and we know how gung-ho you are, and I am. And a lot of people, Steve, a lot of people are for Elias's movement. How brave was he to do that? That was so brave. A lot of fighters wouldn't have done that because they were risking a lot more.
Yeah.
Than a contract with UFC.
It's incredible that he was so outspoken about it, and people don't realize how many fighters and people in general's lives have been affected by opiates, and all because a plant had a teeny little stigma on it for so long. I mean, you could go down a laundry list of fighters right now.
Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock. You could go into why am I drawing a blank?
Ultimate Fighter Season 1, Chris Lieben.
You got him. You got fucking why am I drawing a blank on his name? He fought Brock Lesnar. He got him in the ankle lock. Frank Mir. Frank Mir nearly lost his relationship after he got in a car accident. And,
by the way, I would love to have his daughter on the show soon, Steve.
Yeah, right.
Frank and
have been affected by addiction and people in general, and the stigma about weed. That one, it's not a performance enhancing drug.
Lesser of two evils, right?
I train mixed martial arts now. It's not a performance enhancing drug at all. And I also, play competitive pool, and it doesn't do anything for either of my skill sets. What it will do is make me look at something from a different vantage point than I ever would, because it makes my brain focus, oddly enough, where nothing else really did. They prescribed me at one point the Adderall. That did not focus my brain. I felt like I took a fucking bag of cocaine straight to the face. Terrible stuff. And Xanax and everything else like that made me feel like a zombie. Clonopin puts me to sleep. So I'm like, I don't want to, do all that. And, I can take an edible and roll and, go and I actually train high every time. I'm never don't smoke before I go in and train. I was
actually the day you met me, you came over and were like, "Hi, my name's Carrie. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Here's an edible." You gave me an edible. Matter of fact,
I'm like the best hostess, like on the road. I'm like, "What's up, guys? I got stuff for you."
Full circle from the intro of the show till now. Wow, that's crazy.
It's true, and it's really it's just so nice that the stigmas not there anymore. I used to have people yell at me. They're like, "You're gonna go on camera and smoke pot?" I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I just don't see why it should be a problem.
Right.
For me, this betters my life. And why is that bad? It's the only thing that never took me to a place where I was trying to hurt myself, anybody else, crashing my car, losing my job. Never lost a job over pot. Sorry.
I've lost plenty of jobs to opiates. So yeah, Elias will definitely be missed.
Yeah.
For sure. He has a lot of accomplishments. Steve, why don't you remind everyone who Elias was, what he's accomplished? I mean, obviously the ultimate fighter.
Yeah. One of the first Canadians, to win the Ultimate Fighter. Doobie's achievement, if you want to call it that, the first Invicta ring boy.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
He's been on the cover of plenty of
9.
The guy was a model. I mean,
he always reminded me 9, Steve. 9. He said 9. In my phone, if I look it up, I have one of the covers. I still have his number. I have one of the covers. It's him, dude. Guys, look up some of the covers with Elias. They're epic. And to think you could buy a book and you think the main character is Elias because you look at the cover and it's Elias, and then you read through that. Like, I kind of want to get into that and see what those books are about, thinking it's Elias. Like, that's just kind of cool. Maybe I'll do a book review, guys. Thumbs up. If this video gets 30 thumbs up, I'll do a book review. That's reason. 30 thumbs up, I'll do book review for Elias. You know what? I'll do it anyways. Which reminds me.
Come on, man. We got the last few tweets we got to get to. We still have like a couple more things we got to wrap. There we go.
I know.
So this one, obviously, this narrative that like the boxers have been basically running from Jake Paul, and that the MMA fighters have bigger balls. They want to step in there with Jake and things of that nature. No, not really. The MMA fighters have been grossly underpaid for the better part of the entire sport's existence, and they want to get their money. So Hasim, really, I don't know where he's even saying anything, because memory serves me. Aren't you fighting an old MMA fighter, Vitor Belfort? Thank you very much.
All right, going on to the next one.
I mean, like, can we stop? And then, all right, so
Dana White previews the new UFC 279 card and announces the co-main event will be 5 rounds. The card just became the worst card ever.
Listen, that has to be without a doubt a troll job. Without a doubt.
I mean, come on. Some of these comments are absolutely insane. Even Helen was saying it.
The next one.
Comments. Let me tell you something. Without getting crazy or anything like that, you want to go through a comment section, go on #Irish Twitter and check out their special cousin on there, because we have a lot of good friends.
That sounds like a rabbit hole
in their countries. That like the amount of roasting that went on about the passing of the monarch. I'm not going to go too far.
I saw a lot of that. That was insane.
Yo, it was the best day ever. It was St. Patty's Day on Irish Twitter. Those people were celebrating it.
I couldn't believe.
I mean, not for nothing. When you talk to people from other countries,
see, I come.
And why they don't
all I gotta say is Betty White lived longer, so she's
America.
I don't know. I get the meme culture, but like, to me, that was just like so. I don't know.
Listen,
obviously, comedy comes with you got to be upset.
Nothing is off the table anymore, Eddie.
Yeah, I get that.
The things that people are like literally. You got what's that guy? Kim Kardashian's whatever that talks about.
Davidson.
He talks about pedophilia and jokes around about it. That's not a fucking joke. I'll talk shit about that pedophile breeding bitch, the queen. Sorry. Devoted.
I love it.
Her husband.
All right. Well,
welcome to
the wraps. No. There was
no.
No.
What was this one, Steve? Those guys just suck. And GSP,
basically
the record.
The comment was basically insinuating that GSP's reign was inflated, and that he didn't really beat anybody, and that if he were to be going against today's welterweights, that he wouldn't even crack the top 10 was more or less what he was saying.
Who said that?
The commenter, like I said, I told Eddie that there's no way that this guy is so stupid.
This is a new segment for every week. So, guys, if you have any tweets that you want to see on the next episode of Combat Deviants, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Combat.
No, where's the one? Where's the one that TJ saving the card? Where's that one? There you go. My underwear looking at me buying trash pay-per-view saved by TJ Dillashaw. Thankfully, really, because that's the only reason we're going to be tuning into that pay-per-view.
My underwear looking at me by the
that's a good tweet. It's a good tweet.
Great one. Guys, obviously we got the upcoming card for UFC. We're gonna be covering it on our Twitter page, and we're going to be recapping it on next week's episode of Combat Deviant. Steve, I don't know if you want to give anything away or too much.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're getting close to it. Like I said, I think we're at 2. No, 2. We're at 670 for followers on Twitter. So when we hit a,
we were at 666 just at the beginning of the show.
Well, people have been following. I don't know what to tell you.
That doesn't like that
but
number.
that means one thing: we're closer to a giveaway.
We're gonna do a giveaway for Twitter when the Belly Up YouTube hits 1K. We're gonna do a giveaway when our YouTube hits 500. We'll do it.
Carrie and Helen will do a hula hoop face off. All of us will hula hoop face off.
Right. I used to be able to.
No, man. I mean, I got some old school signed posters over here. Some of y'all might enjoy. You know, Eddie was already showing he's gonna break down and give away his signed Emmett Smith card.
I got
some other stuff from my Midwest break guys. They broke me down with a bunch of UFC cards. So we'll think about some stuff. I got some football stuff for the football season. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna get some more stuff on. And for people who didn't notice, who didn't pay attention to the timeline, was going back and forth with Sean Merriman. We will get him on at some point in time before his next Lights Out MMA event. That should be fun.
All right, awesome. And the podcast for everybody wondering.
We got another BKFC heavyweight. We got a former world champion boxer joining us. We'll you guys will hear a little bit more about that. But like I said, dude, follow, like, subscribe.
BellyUpSports.com.
Belly Up Sports. Make sure you're showing some love. Both of you guys missed the meeting last night, so you didn't hear some of the stuff that's been going on. I'll tell you guys.
Bellybuttonrubbing.com.
You're gonna absolutely love what the guys at Belly Up just announced. For everyone out there, they'll probably make the announcement going out publicly within the next few weeks, but it's gonna be fun. More content, more female content coming out from the Belly Up side of things. So, guys, make sure you're following the website. Make sure you're following on social. Belly Up Media, Belly Up Sports, Belly Up Fantasy. The family's growing. They got a lot of stuff going on. We're well over our time tonight.
Belly Button Bobo O'Bannon.
We're gonna have some more fun. Carrie will be here. Eddie will be here. Whoever else is gonna be hopping on with us crazy ass deviants. Enjoy, have fun, appreciate the support from everyone. We'll be back same time, same channel.
And guys, make sure to follow us. Carrie, thank you for joining us on this episode. Steve, I can't wait for next week. And that wraps it up for episode 3. For anybody really quick that's interested in the audio podcast, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Combat Deviants, and it will be up shortly for episode 3. Thank you guys, and God bless. See ya.